Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another live stream, another edition of Dynasty Football with Dynastyland. We've got our boy Sammy Stacks here with us. He's ready to hang out.
What up?
Last week we did a rookie mock draft, and thought it would be only fitting to get you on a startup mock draft and
Heck yeah.
kind of pick your brain a little bit there. But thanks for joining us, gang. Did you watch Super Bowl with friends, family, or all on your own?
With some family,
Okay.
but no big football fans. So alone, basically.
Right.
If alone and together at the same time.
Any Bad
but-
Bunny fans?
No Spanish speakers either.
Which
so.
seems to be a very controversial thing. I don't even want to get into it because all I've seen online is just like absolute
Rile up the chat.
hate,
Yeah,
no matter
exactly.
what, no matter where you stand. Obviously, yeah, one of the more boring Super Bowls in a very long time, in the sense of
terrible.
just there wasn't really a moment where you thought the Patriots could do it. You know, it's just like, yeah, this is gonna be
And it wasn't until it felt like the fourth quarter until like anything happened.
yeah.
Like,
Until
I couldn't think of
any action
like
at all whatsoever. At one point, I thought
Yeah.
Jason Myers might end up being the Super Bowl MVP.
Literally, it was him or it was literally the conversation was him or Ken Walker, and yeah, he set a record for most field goals in a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
which felt about right.
Speaking
Terrible
of
2
Ken
years in
Walker,
a row.
Speaking of Ken Walker, by the way,
Yeah,
what an incredible performance. I
Dude.
remember buying Ken Walker to start the offseason in Dynasty. And I remember it was very controversial when I bought him. And I think maybe there wasn't as many people talking about how bad the rookie class was. I don't know. I'm not sure. But this was back January 20th. I bought him for the 111. And it was hilarious because the comment section, when I tweeted this out, I just kind of said like the duality of man, because someone said you're going to regret this easily in 12 months. The other person said I completely fleeced the owner and they should be kicked out. So there was no like, yeah, this deal makes sense for both sides. It was just like either way, it was like either the best or the worst trade at that time possible. But where should we kind of go with Ken Walker? Should we play a game? Should we do a Ken Walker or segment here to start off the stream? Should we maybe kind of
Let's do it.
test his value right now and where we think he should stand?
he's on a bit of a rocket ship, I think, because of the crazy playoff run. And I think the funniest part about this is the excitement when you were buying there was sort of, oh, he's a free agent,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
that was it.
he's gonna
He's a
he's
free
gonna
agent.
leave
Maybe he'll get it
Seattle.
back.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna leave Seattle because they're not gonna pay him. Like they're probably not gonna pay him because they clearly don't value him. And then Charbonnet tears his ACL, and it's like, this is the guy. And now everybody's like, he's gonna get a bag in Seattle. So
It seems like a foregone conclusion that he will be in Seattle as their guy.
it would be crazy for him not to be. Like the only
Yeah.
thing I could see them doing is shifting to a different free agent. Like
Yeah.
that would be it. But at this point, he just won you the Super Bowl MVP, and you're not gonna pay the man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So where do we want to start here then? We want to start with the 26th
Let's start with a
rookie
pick, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we've been talking in the
Mhm.
Dynasty community about a certain teardrop
Yep.
in the rookie class at the 106.
Yep.
And so I think it's a good starting point for this conversation.
I
Are
agree.
you taking, is the chat taking Kenneth Walker or whoever emerges to this 106 come May? And
I think it's a good conversation to have.
yeah.
Because what has to happen for you to go 106? Does there have to be two quarterbacks in the first round? You know, are you then betting on Ty Simpson? Does there have to be, hypothetically, who's the favorite to go RB2? Is it Jonah Coleman? Jonah Coleman goes in the second round and then we are more excited about him. I can't imagine a receiver or a tight end changes how people perceive the 106 because people are already projecting Sadiq to go in the first and one of Boston or Concepcion or maybe Omar Cooper now. So I can't imagine that the 106 is drastically going to change unless it's a quarterback or a running back going higher than anticipated. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, it's kind of where I would.
No, I think you lined it out exactly. I think what would have to, right now it seems like they're all kind of in a cluster. I think like if obviously the Chiefs have an early pick in the second round. If they go running back, right? If that's Jonah Coleman at 40 overall, he's firmly
right. Maybe that
in that conversation.
That begins a conversation there.
Right? Or if you see, I'm thinking as you're talking, okay, if a Denzel Boston or a KC gets into like the high teens,
yeah,
but who is that going to be? Dallas? Like, would Dallas do that?
Right.
The Rams? I don't love that landing spot.
Right now, we're trying to say, based off the market value, the 106 is more than expected. But I don't know if we're overreacting enough, because, like, again, if you go to KTC, it'll say like, yeah, the 108 is equivalent. Again, like when I made that trade, this was back January 20th, before the Charbonnet ACL tear, by the way. I don't think that I don't think you can get Walker for the 108 anymore. You know what I mean? So now we're asking the question, tough. The 106, maybe we're not asking the right question, because so far 84% of the chat is easily saying Ken Walker. And honestly,
really,
I kind of agree with them. I kind of do, because
I did not think it was going to be that lopsided.
You're almost guaranteed to, you're going to get a 3 or 4 year deal. I think it's like James Cook range as far as what the contract will look like. And then assuming that's from Seattle, then you'd assume they're going to give him, the keys to the kingdom. And that's hard to find something that you're more interested in at the 106 there. Should the question be the 105? I think maybe we should ask that question. Unless you want to advocate maybe for the 106, because I don't think I could.
I think it's so tough. I think that, here's what I'll say. I don't think it's a bad move, because I do firmly believe that somebody will emerge. Like, I don't think right now we see like this huge teardrop.
Yeah.
I don't think that on May 1st, we're going to look at it like, holy, who do I take
right.
at the 106? These options all suck. You know what I mean? So whether it's KC or Boston getting a sick landing spot in the teens, whether it's Kenyon Sadiq going higher than we think, whether it's Jonah Coleman in the early second, Ty Simpson sneaks into the first, I don't think I would be interested in that anyways, but I think that there will be somebody who emerges at the 106 there.
Yeah.
But it's so tight. And Ken Walker, like you said, the other thing is that Zach Charbonnet, like, he tore his ACL in
he's gone.
what?
He won't be back. He tore his ACL 23 days ago.
Yeah. Even if he does come back, it'll be what? November at the earliest, and then he's a free agent.
Exactly. So what benefit do they have to really invest in that relationship right now? Unless, I think the 105 is a good conversation here. Right now we have 28 votes in the chat. 57% of people are saying the 105. I think this is where I think you do have to ask the question about positional scarcity, because I love the prospects at the 105. It's either going to be Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, or Mendoza. I imagine Mendoza's probably not going to end up at the 105. I think it's going to be one of those receivers. And if that's the case, we are all hot and heavy for a top 10 drafted receiver in Dynasty. Like, if we can get people froth over it, all right? They will sell their firstborn for that. At the same time, if you want to find a running back that you can build around and that you can win right now at that price, it's going to be harder to find someone other than Ken Walker, given that he's about to step into all that workload, the contract then says we want to give him workload. So I think this is probably the range. If you're looking at selling Ken Walker, maybe now you say, I need the 105, or I'm not selling him. And if you're looking at buying him, 106 onwards is free game, maybe. Maybe that's where we stand there with rookie picks.
Yeah, I think the 105, I think right now on February 9th, where it feels like his value, like just looking at the chat, right, and how they feel about it, it feels like his value is at that point where it's like, okay, yeah, he is getting the bag, and it is in Seattle, and it is going to be James Cook money. I'm fine.
Like a foregone conclusion, yeah.
Right, exactly. And because it's there, does his value, if it is there right now, his value is not going to change when it happens. And so I think maybe I would keep the 105 right now. I don't think I would.
I think if you're a contender right now and you need a running back and you have the 105, I don't think you're going to find it's Breece Hall or Ken Walker. That's how you solve that problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think you could also do it on May 1st. Maybe is my point.
Sure. Like, it's not going to
And
be
so-
impossible to do it after the draft either.
Exactly. And so why not wait
Yeah.
with the potential that it doesn't go perfectly for Ken?
Well, 48 votes, and let me tell you, it was very close. 52% ended up saying they wanted the 105. I think that's probably our range, though, where we are right now in the community. Let's ask another question, though. Let's ask another question. Ken Walker or Breece Hall? Because I don't think you have to ask where Ken Walker's going in free agency, but there's almost like concern if Breece does stay. So it's an interesting conversation. I'm just wondering where people stand now after the Super Bowl. Where do you think you lean?
Well, like, I mean, right now, look, this is before I had this. These are my rankings, like mid playoff run. I think I bumped Kenneth Walker up a little bit.
Yeah.
I have them in the same tier. I don't understand what the Breece love in the community is for right now, because to me, it seems like people are penciling in that it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to some sick landing spot. Bad teams pay running backs all the time. And the Jets could just franchise tag him. What a nightmare that would be, eh? Tomorrow, the Jets, it comes out the Jets are planning to franchise tag Breece Hall. Disaster.
Which is a very realistic possibility, I think, as well.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want a stable running back behind this very good offensive line with a bad quarterback, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because last offseason it was all Breece isn't a part of our future plans. We're not going to really use him. And then the season happened. They were like, well, shit, we kind of need Breece Hall. Right now, 75% of people are voting Breece Hall. I do personally believe that Breece Hall is the better talent. I will say that. Like, if you told me, put Breece Hall, okay, let's play this scenario out. In a hypothetical world, you can have one of them and they both sign to the Seattle Seahawks on a 4-year deal, $40 million. I think we'd all choose Breece Hall. As much as Ken Walker is good, I think we'd all choose Breece Hall.
I'm with you.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation, though. Maybe if you have Ken Walker and you are a Breece Hall guy, maybe you can look at flipping that now and see if that's possible. You wanted to bring up this last one, so I'm going to let you lead the way on this one. This is the last one before we jump into a startup draft here.
This one's fun. I think, you know what, you said that when I brought this up to you, Marvin Harrison Jr., you said that you think it's too easy. And I think that I wasn't fully projecting the power of this rocket ship that Kenneth Walker is on right now. Because I would take Kenneth Walker over Marv.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the chat thinks, because there are people that I know of that are holding on to Marvin Harrison very tightly.
Yeah.
That it was Michael Wilson stole his breakout because of the injury and Marv missing time. That should have been Marv.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. And the wide receiver, look, wide receivers, young wide receivers have an insane amount of value because they are young wide receivers and that they were talented prospects.
Yeah.
And so I am interested to see how many people are still taking Marv here.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm not even like giving up on Marvin Harrison. I just don't know. Like, there certainly hasn't been any changes this offseason with the coaching staff that would make me think, I'm so excited about what this attack is going to look like now that they've made changes. You know, I still have all the same concerns. I have all the same concerns at quarterback. I don't know how much they love Michael Wilson, the new coaching staff. And you're not even asking the question, can Marvin be the number one receiver? I feel like you're asking the question, can he be the number 2 target in an offense we don't even love? And that's what I'm like struggling with. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm struggling with, because I know I'm going to get a running back that's about to sign a 4-year deal, $40 million, going to get 15 touches a game. I just don't know how to bank on Marvin over that right now. And to be fair, like, on the Flock site, it looks like, based off of expert consensus, Marvin is more valuable than Ken Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't agree with personally. But,
well, I mean, the chat disagrees with you. This is why I brought it up. 57% right now.
Okay.
Marv. Which is, here's the thing: is this the community holding on to a ceiling argument? Because we can agree that Kenneth Walker does not have the ceiling for dynasty value as Marvin Harrison Jr. does.
Right. If they both reach what you think they could do. Yeah. No.
right? Marv could be a first round startup pick. Ken Walker, that's not in the range of outcomes. At least I guess what would have to happen? It would have to an insane outlier season would have to happen. But
yeah,
Scribbles in the chat, I noticed, have we not learned to not quit on wide receivers 2 years into their careers? I think
it's not even quitting though. It's not quitting on Marvin.
It's not quitting.
You can say, okay, I think this is a very rational statement, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know. Is it a rational statement to say, if I needed to have a flex this year, scratch that. If you had a 2-year window to win a Dynasty League, which is really how you should be operating, and you said, I need a flex, who are you betting on today? I'm betting on Ken Walker.
Yeah, easily.
Because it's not a projection on what Ken Walker could do in the NFL. I understand this year was annoying, the splits, but we were annoyed about James Cook and how he was getting split with Ray Davis. And then again, once the team gave him a bag, it's like, why are we not going to use this guy and run him into the ground? Right? It's like, it's a projection for Marvin Harrison. It's a projection.
And I think
and who knows what would have happened if Michael Wilson, if he doesn't get injured? I don't know. But I think today I would bet on Ken Walker being my flex over a Marvin Harrison for the next 2 or 3 years.
And I think that makes complete sense. And I think even the people who would prefer Marv might agree with you. And it's just, you see Marvin Harrison and you see a potential S-tier dynasty wide receiver.
Yeah.
What he was supposed to be, what he could be if he finally breaks out in year 3. But look, I try to sort of get ahead of the redraft cycle when I'm looking at Dynasty this early in the offseason. This, as of a week ago, who do you think was going higher on underdog best ball drafts? Michael Wilson or Marvin Harrison Jr.? Michael Wilson or Marv?
Oh, I would assume Marvin.
You'd be wrong.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
It's very close. They're both in the early 30s, I think. I think it was 32 and 35 wide receiver off the board.
Which doesn't sound insane.
No.
I mean, Michael Wilson could easily be like the worst pick in fantasy football this year, but like you could see that pathway. Like, do you even want the wide receiver 2 in Arizona?
Wide receiver 1, potentially.
I don't know. Okay. And look, again, like CB says, like Walker was terrible for fantasy this season. Again, I'm advocating, guys, that if a player is signed in free agency, a team isn't going to give them the money that they have to and not let them completely free as the workhorse. Again, I use the James Cook scenario because it really is perfect. I mean, people were talking about James Cook, touchdown regression. They were talking about how like Ray Davis was a really popular late round pick last year in fantasy drafts. He was. I drafted him in Flockley like a dumbass. And ultimately, what the Bills said is, all right, if we're going to give him, this type of bag, we're going to give him every opportunity to be an all-pro. There's just GMs want to be rewarded from the moves that they make. They want to say like, yeah, you made the right move. So I think it would be, in my opinion, it would be silly to expect to rank Walker right now in Dynasty, expecting what happened in 2025 fantasy football seasons. I think it's silly to view him that way.
The whole reason, there's a comment here, let's not have recency bias. The entire argument for Kenneth Walker is that next year will be different.
Exactly.
That going forward, it's going to change because either, look, if Seattle's not going to pay him RB1 money, somebody else will. And
somebody will
go somewhere else.
100%.
He's not going to stay in Seattle just so that they can bring Rico Dowdle in to be the new Zach Charbonnet. He is going to go somewhere where he is going to be the guy. And if that's not in Seattle, it'll be somewhere else. I don't see a world in which Ken Walker doesn't, how much more money is Brees making this offseason than Ken Walker?
Yeah.
Any more?
I think they'll have a similar contract. I mean, you don't win Super Bowl MVP and then make less money than Brees Hall. I don't think so. I think they'll have the same contract. If not, could be paid more. And again, I don't know why someone in the chat hears me comparing James Cook's contract and usage and Ken Walker's contract and usage, and then somehow equates that to me comparing them as players. I don't know how that conclusion's being made.
It's
but But here we are. That's the year 2026. Let's jump to conclusions. That was fun. Ken Walker, obviously a very polarizing player, and a lot of opinions in the chat. And the best part is we're about to jump into a startup draft, and you guys can draft them wherever the hell you want to. All right. And you don't have to be right or wrong. You just can be right because it's your opinion. If you want to jump into a startup draft, we're about to jump into one. All you have to do to get into these drafts is simply create a free account using the promo code LAND. I'll match your deposit up to, why did I say that? You can create a free account with the promo code LAND. And then once you do, you can jump into any draft, whether it's with us, Domain, Flock, with the regular community. We've also got a Discord community that is constantly doing mock drafts in the mock draft tab. You'll see people here who are constantly sending links out in the Discord under the LAND community. And yeah, you guys can feel free to join us. I'm going to send this link first to Sammy. Let me send you this over on Discord, and then we'll jump into a startup draft. Now, one thing I want to quickly announce before we get into the startup mock draft, which I think people are going to be really excited about this because this has probably been like the... Okay, first off, we're doing a giveaway today. And if you'd like to enter the giveaway, there's so many things to cover. If you'd like to win a live team playbook, all right, then the code word for today, in honor of the Super Bowl champions, is Hawks Baby. No spaces, all right? No spaces. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream, type Hawks Baby, and you'll automatically be entered to win a live team playbook, all right? Again, simple two-step process there. And we'll do that giveaway before we jump into some playbooks today. It's also a great day to get a team playbook from your boy. We're going to be looking at some of your guys' Dynasty football teams. And if you want a customized review of your fantasy football team, then you can get your team review tonight. You can jump into the queue by either becoming a promo code LAND annual Mother Flock. Remember, that will give you a voucher you can use through the Flock store. Or if you're a member of a different promo code, you can still just go to the Flock store and get a playbook with us. I'll go ahead and make that the pinned comment. If you'd like to get your team reviewed tonight, you can absolutely join the queue. There is no pressure. Now, one thing I would love to announce, which I haven't announced on Discord just yet. You guys, for the last 2 years, have constantly been saying, Zach, the one thing I really want, you won't give me. The one thing I really want you to do for the community, you just won't do. And I've been trying to find a way to make this a reality. For a long time, we did startup drafts, and I was a part of them, and they were really fun. But the issue was, I just can't be a part of that many leagues. So I wanted to find a way where we could have follower leagues that were valuable, that meant something, that you guys can be a part of. So we are launching tonight live Dynasty startup leagues. If you want to be a part of live land community Dynasty leagues, all right, the first one that's going to happen is this time next week. This time next week, some of you guys will be in a live Dynasty startup, a brand new league with land community. If you want to enter into these leagues, all you got to do is simply become a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member. All right, all annual Mother Flocker members, you get the team playbook, you get the war room, you get the trade hotline, you get the rookie report, the $10 fast draft credit, and now you're also having the ability to enter live land community leagues. And for you to enter those, it's incredibly simple. All you have to do is go to our Discord, and under the announcements tab, I am actually releasing a message right now for a community form that you can fill out. So again, I haven't done this for 2 years, but I took it so seriously because you guys wanted it so desperately that I actually hired commissioners. All right. I legitimately hired a couple commissioners, brought them on board, and we've got 2 commissioners that are going to be dedicated to running weekly Dynasty startup drafts. And again, all you have to do to enter is fill out this form. And on Thursday night stream, we'll do a raffle, and we'll raffle off the first spots. Okay, so DM me if you have any questions, but I'm excited to finally bring those to you guys for the first time in 2 years. I mean, Sammy got into one of our leagues before we kind of capped them off not too long ago.
Yeah, that's right. I snuck in. That'll be a ton of fun. I will be. We can let people know. I'll be here on Mondays.
Yep.
Commentating over these drafts. So if you guys don't want the smoke about, if you're worried about what Zach and I think about them, think twice about entering.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I gotta say.
Do not enter if you are afraid of feedback. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do this startup draft. All you have to do to enter, again, is go to the mock drafts tab. I'll put this link here. It is first come, first serve. And while we wait on that to fill up, I will... oh, wow, that filled up like in a second. Okay. Normally that takes longer. But here we go. We're going to do a Dynasty startup mock draft. And this time next week, we'll be doing real drafts, which will be really fun. Okay, let's go ahead and start this up. I'm thinking 12-team, super flex, 0.5 tight end premium. I think that's what we're going to rock with. What do you think?
Standard.
Yeah.
Standard.
I feel like tight end premium is standard now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You're not going to find many. You will find people that don't like it, but I think 0.5 is definitely standard at this point.
I can confirm from Adam that I did just get your team review in, so you're going to be in tonight's queue. You're good to go, my friend. Hydro says, I got stuck in a mock on the Flock site and I've been stuck there for days. How do I reset it? You know,
here's
that's
what you're going to do.
Unfortunate reality of technology. Go to our Discord, go to site issues. Is that your job or is that the dev's job?
No, here's what you're going to do. Go to email support@flockfantasy.com.
Okay, there you go.
And put your draft ID in the email.
Okay.
And I will pass it on and have that fixed.
There you go.
Devs are trying to push out some updates and different things. And we have run into some bugs, which happens.
The bugs don't stop, do they?
The bugs do not stop.
All right, Jackson Smith and Jigba at the 101. Speaking of hype.
Wow.
I was so worried, by the way, when he went down with an injury. I thought they said it was a leg injury. And I was like, oh no, please.
It looked like he was dealing with an ankle thing before the concussion happened. Like it was like he just needed like a heat pack on it. It wasn't anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But then then he's leaving the field and it's like, wait, what?
It's like, please, not another ACL, for the love of God. I was like, did they practice at the 49ers facility or what's going on?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Why are we doing this in San Francisco? But the 101 in the Superflex.
Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make an argument it's easier to sell JSN than a Josh Allen to your entire league, but still, I do think Josh Allen's probably the name that should go off the board there. Especially, again, if we're playing, there was this 5 years ago, people would use this excuse, well, Josh Allen's 30. If you're playing Dynasty in more than a 2 or 3 year window, you're really, I'm not going to say you're playing wrong, but
you're overthinking it, maybe.
You are, because your goal should be to win a championship. And yeah. I'm going to take Bijan Robinson here. I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't had you on a startup draft yet. I don't know if you've noticed from other parts of the community, but I've noticed that quarterbacks are not going anywhere near as high as they used to this offseason in particular.
I think
they're really falling.
I think it's literally just because you had Lamar and Jalen Hurts, who have been perennial top 8 picks.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, who just will jump to the 101 after his rookie season.
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys had bad years or injured years. And then Burrow too, who's been in here a bunch. Mm-hmm. And then you had Puka, JSN with these insane seasons. And, I feel like it's just a startup draft will always reflect the previous season of fantasy football. Yeah. Right. And so I think that we just had a year where a bunch of top quarterbacks went down. And so this is what we get this offseason. Maybe there's an opportunity to be had.
Yeah. To everybody, we'll have Badaki join us on the next stream, which will be on your Wednesday, my Thursday. So on your Wednesday, my Thursday, come join us. We'll have Badaki here, obviously. Obviously, we love the lad. Steven, by the way, shout out to Steven here for the super chat. Says always here for a Dynasty mock draft.
Love it.
Appreciate that, man. Thanks for being here, Steven. Longtime supporter. Scribble says, silly Zach. I want to say next, tricks are for kids. No one cares about winning championships. It's about looking at how pretty your team is.
It's true.
Honestly, though, there
That
are
is
some
true.
people who that's genuinely their goals. Like, how young? How many picks can I have? Bro, I have 30 first round picks. Nice. Nice.
Over the
man.
next 3 years. It's like, yeah,
My-
I mean, that's
My starting quarterback is
have fun in 2029.
Geno Smith. My starting running back is Trey Benson. My wide receiver one is Calvin Ridley, but I have 30 first round picks. So,
Okay, I got to ask you about something.
Yeah.
I took the 103,
Mhm.
expecting to take Jaden Daniels.
yeah.
Explain what is going on? The 111? What are we doing?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Jaden Daniels was who I was going to take if I didn't take Bijan Robinson. So we got to ask everybody in the chat what exactly is going on.
Can we? I don't get this.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Are we?
I talked about him in today's video. He's a player. You know, it's funny because today's video I named 10 players I refuse to sell in Dynasty football.
Yes.
And everybody is saying in the comment section, this is terrible advice. Everybody has a price tag. There's no way you shouldn't sell a player. I'm like, guys, we're being a little too on the nose here. Like, it's just a title. It's just a theme.
Yeah.
The idea was at their current price, I'm not selling them. It makes no sense. And Jaden Daniels was one of those names.
Absolutely.
And I feel like he's primed for a bounce back. The Commanders they'll be top 5 in salary cap available, so they'll be able to fix some of their issues, both defensively and hopefully on the offensive line. They have a top 10 pick, which either can go to defense or to a weapon. I think he's an incredible buy right now, personally.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't think it's like some year 2 slump. Obviously,
The injuries, man. It's just injuries.
Yeah. Like it was right away. Week 3, he missed.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And by the way, when he was healthy, like it's like Terry wasn't even healthy when he was healthy. Like he couldn't have a season where he and Terry could stay on the same page, could accomplish anything. Let me go look at some of these notes I had from my video, but he was, if I'm not mistaken, when you look at pressure over expectation, it's like top 3 in the league. It was a terrible situation for him.
Well,
he never really had a chance to be himself.
Josh Connerly, he was like awful at the beginning of the year, and then he was awesome at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard
he'll be an improvement.
Like, a little bit about that. So you draft a first round tackle, and then he's terrible to start the year. It's not gonna.
So
even with Larry Tunsil coming in,
these are the numbers I was referring to. Out of 45 quarterbacks with 200 dropbacks last season, Jaden Daniels was 7th in pressure rate, 2nd in pressure rate over expectation, 5th in time to pressure, and 3rd in receiver drops percentage. 8% of his targets were dropped by receivers. So certainly, I think there's every reason to give him an excuse personally, but not everybody's going to give him that same excuse, I guess.
I mean, I completely agree with you. Like I said, I would have taken. He's my 3rd overall player. I don't see much reason to have him outside of a tier with May and Allen. And this is the other one. So Jaden Daniels, right? This is the other one that doesn't make any sense to me. How am I selecting Jalen Hurts at the 303?
Yeah.
I get people think he's bad, but like we knew that he wasn't the best quarterback in the league. He was never a first round pick in startups because he's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah. I know. I mean, he had a down year with his rushing production. I think that might have thrown people a little bit for a loop to see that so early.
But then Kevin Patullo gets fired. And one of the biggest complaints all season was he's not using the quarterback run game nearly enough.
Yeah.
And so do we think it's going to stay the same with a new coordinator?
Right.
I guess. Like Jalen Hurts has had between 9.2 and 11 carries a game for 4 straight years. And this year it's 6.5.
Definitely could be an overreaction. That's for damn sure. I think I'm going to take a quarterback here because I'm worried about how many people don't have quarterbacks. For example, Team 7 has no quarterback. Team 10 has no quarterback. Nobody has 2 quarterbacks on the right side of the board. So I just don't want a situation here where it comes around and Sam Darnold's the best available. I'm not projecting that's
Yeah.
going to happen, but
Yeah.
I also think Brock Purdy's very underrated. I've felt that way for a while, but he's coming off a absolute beautiful season. Only played 8 games, so the injuries are a concern, but 22 points per game. Looked incredible. High completion percentage. Oh, and by the way, Brandon Ayuk was doing whatever the hell he was doing the entire year. Decided not to be a part of the team. You had plenty of injuries. They didn't really replace Debo. Ricky Pearsall couldn't stay healthy.
2.5 touchdowns a game is wild.
I feel like
That's what he's throwing at.
he's only primed to get a better supporting cast. I feel like they're going to have to address it.
Everybody's mocking a wide receiver to them in the first round.
Yep. So we get in the 3rd round, Dart, who I thought was a really nice value. In fact, the 101 didn't start with a quarterback, but they really didn't get punished. I mean, to get Herbert and Dart, that's a pretty awesome start. Pickens goes at the 305. You know, the last time you were on our show, rookie draft we were doing a rookie draft. Why did we even talk about George Pickens? We did, though. We talked about George Pickens. I don't remember why.
I think maybe we said something about him. I probably got on a soapbox and talked about how I don't think that he's going to stay in Dallas.
So how has your opinion changed at all? Obviously, like, reports came out that they're going to tag him and everything, but
yeah,
that might not
I think
change.
that my opinion the entire time has just been that I don't think it's as guaranteed as we think that it should be, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, of course they should re-sign him, but Jerry is Jerry.
Yeah.
And George Pickens, of all players, is not somebody that's going to take well to being forced to play on a franchise tag.
Sure. I can see that.
So, I don't know. I just think it goes badly. I don't know how it goes. I just think it goes poorly. I hope he stays in Dallas. I have him ranked as if it's more likely than not that he stays in Dallas.
Yeah.
And, you know, if their defense doesn't get any better, this is a team that I think Dak was 2nd in the NFL in pass attempts.
Yep. I definitely think regression is coming, which we should be aware of just across the board for that offense. They were top 2 or 3 in pretty much every passing category because they had to. Yeah. I mean, for them to have any chance in any games, pretty much, they had to throw the ball pretty much every play of the second half is what it felt like.
The argument is that they're the Bengals, right? Like the anti-regression argument is that they're just the Bengals, and the defense is just so bad that it continues where they have to be throwing the ball so much. The defense, like the run defense, got a lot better for the Cowboys,
especially because they made the trade for Quinnen Williams. Yeah,
Quinnen Williams, exactly. And the corners were the secondary was just awful, and they couldn't stop the pass. And then if you can't stop the pass, you're gonna allow a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. Brian Thomas comes off the board here.
Love that pick.
I think the 104 is where I probably lean. Oof, I don't know.
Over your boy.
McConkey, though. Ladd McConkey and Luther.
You don't have a wide receiver yet, but your boy's on the board. Where is he? I don't even see him on your queue or on your running back rankings there. Where do you have Bucky Irving ranked, Zach?
Oh, I like Bucky, but I don't think I can take him this high.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to take the 104 here. Just have a little bit of a asset that I can kind of move around if I want. I like Bucky Irving. I mean, obviously
he really hurt you, eh?
He did hurt me. I'm not convinced that it's crazy because you look at his numbers as a rookie and then his numbers as a second-year player. He went from basically like one of the most effective rushers ever as a rookie, especially like after contact, to one of the worst in his second year. And I'm trying to kind of rationalize and figure out what his future looks like. I wonder if he was ever really healthy, you know?
I mean, how many games did he play before the injury?
He played 4 and he was averaging about 18 points per game. So it was looking good. But the fact that they took away his goal line work, was that more of an indication of his shoulder or more of an indication of what their future plans are for him? Because the answer to that question heavily dictates his upside and what his value should be.
I guess it is. Yeah, I guess you do have to think about it more. It's so hard to get away from just saying, okay, I'm going to look at the breakout in year 1 plus the first 4 weeks of 2025. It's hard to get away from that mindset because of the injury and yeah, like. But they gave him the workload. Like he's at 70% of the snaps for the first 4 weeks. But yeah, you're right with the goal line stuff. And Sean Tucker, I mean, that guy's a bowling ball. Like So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting.
So right now, I think, you know, in my opinion, what has more to lose, the 104 or a Bucky Irving, and the 104 or Henderson, the 104 or one of these names. The 104, we feel good about being one of those big receivers that we love, or Mendoza hypothetically. I'm picturing getting Carnell Tate here, essentially, and I'm asking myself, is a 104 going to lose value from now until the draft, or will Bucky? I mean, if the Bucks bring someone in during free agency, if they draft someone in the 3rd or 4th round, then I think that 104 could still get me Bucky Irving, even if it's clear that Bucky's going to be the starter for the Bucks heading into the year. I don't know if the opposite is true if things go a certain way.
Yeah, it's tough. That's really making me think. And then Travion Henderson right ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about Travion anymore.
Oh God, that one is.
I like the Chase
What do you
Brown
do with
pick
Travion
there.
Henderson?
Yeah, it didn't get easier to bet on him after the Super Bowl, did it?
No, he did not look good at all.
I am concerned. I'm going to grab the last quarterback I feel okay about getting here in Baker Mayfield. So I don't go quarterbacks early. I think Baker is due for a bounce back. That offensive line was just awful, completely destroyed. He played really poorly, but I think it's not one or the other. I think it's combined. But yeah, Travion, I really don't know what to think anymore. I really don't. Honestly, I think I have him ranked too high. I think I need to reassess how I have him ranked. Once we saw him kind of like get the keys to the kingdom when Stevenson was out, I think we all thought, well, you don't put the genie back in the bottle now.
Yeah.
But they did.
Well, here's the thing. It's so weird because like it's the 2 games that I remember very vividly. It's the two huge runs against Tampa.
Yeah.
And then the Thursday night football game with the 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And yeah, like Ramondre's hurt, and then exactly. You're like, this is what it is now, you know?
We all
and then
thought
he
like,
just
oh,
gets
this is
dominated
how
in the
we're
playoffs.
Yeah. I honestly don't really know how to digest that situation. I mean, I thought about ranking him as high as like top 5 running back when that stretch was happening. And now I'm just asking myself, like, do I want Travion or do I want Scatterboot? Do I want Travion or do I want Brees? Do I want him or Kyron? Do I want him or, I mean, are we sure Chase Brown isn't more valuable? It's like, there's a lot of questions I have right now.
Right now I'm taking Chase Brown over him,
which is so hard to do because Travion is such a good prospect.
Yeah,
he averaged over 5 yards per carry this year. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's so tough because I think that this is where like fantasy crosses with like real, or not real. Real's the wrong word, but like people that just analyze the NFL as the NFL.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of stuff about the vision is terrible, and he doesn't see the hole and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, if you can run like crazy when you do get the break outside and when you do have the open space, which he can obviously do, that's great. But is he going to be reliable enough to get that opportunity in the playoffs? The answer was just no. It was Ramondre over him.
Yeah. And Mike Vrabel isn't really the type to care about this idea. Well, you spend a 2nd round pick on him, you gotta let him loose. I don't think Mike Vrabel cares.
Exactly. No, he does not care. He wants the best player on the field. And he wasn't even like there when they gave Ramondre the contract either. So it's not like he's committed to that.
Right. That's so true, actually. That's so funny. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So there's not really any reason to bet on one or the other because of coaching or staff having a preference.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
a difficult
so
question
curious
answer.
to see now that like we're done watching any football. I'm so curious to see where Travion and Ramondre end up going in August in redraft leagues.
Yeah. I think Stevenson could end up being like a really bad pick where we kind of overcorrect a little bit on like a second year breakout for a Travion, because he's going to have an entire year to work on things that they want him to work on. Clearly, it's not a question of who gives us the best chance to make a big play every time they touch the ball. Obviously that's Travion.
Clearly, yeah, it's not even a debate.
But obviously there's some things that he needs to work on. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. Jameson Williams going that late I thought was interesting.
I was looking at him coming around at the 503 potentially. I have him and Luther Burden pretty close, who I took as my wide receiver 1, which is terrifying, by the way.
Well, you know what's more terrifying than Luther Burden as your wide receiver 1?
Not having one?
Not having one at all whatsoever.
Cardinal Tate wide receiver 1.
Yeah, that's right. Cardinal Tate. And you know what? I think I'm going to punt it again, because here in the 6th round, I didn't want to be the one to draft Ken Walker, but I feel like people made it too easy for me. I don't know. You can make a case for Josh, maybe. I don't know. I probably wouldn't put Josh over him personally. If you want to go Cam, I just think Ken Walker at RB16 here in the middle of the 6 is a value. And if that means I don't have a receiver yet, it is what it is. But I don't know. That just feels like too good of a value to miss in the middle of the 6th round with the conversation we had earlier. Doesn't feel like people are pushing him up boards. I don't feel like he is getting pushed up too far up any of these boards.
It's almost like the community, like everybody's getting so sharp that it's like that kind of stuff just doesn't happen anymore. Like I feel like maybe 2 years ago, today after the Super Bowl, Ken Walker goes in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? It's just something crazy like that where somebody's buying into the hype. Right. Also, how about this 106 teardrop?
Oh my gosh!
It is so real.
There have been almost 24 picks. Well, there's 20 picks right now, and it could continue from the 105 to the 106, and counting.
And the crazy thing is that it makes sense. Like I get it.
I completely get it, because every player that's gone off the board right now, I would say there's not a chance I would prefer the 106 over them.
I love this Harold Fannin value, by the way.
At the 6'10", yeah.
I mean, this guy...
And he's got a Pro Bowl quarterback, too.
He had 2 of them this year.
Wait, who else was the Pro Bowl quarterback?
Joe Flacco.
Did Joe Flacco make the Pro Bowl? I honestly... I didn't even realize... When the Pro Bowl happened, I didn't even realize it happened. Like, I saw clips the next day, and it was like, oh, this was from the Pro Bowl. I was like, wait, the Pro Bowl happened? I had no idea it was even happening when it was happening.
They've just fully leaned into nobody cares about this.
Then stop doing it. You know what I mean? Like, stop doing it. What's the benefit?
Yeah, I bet you it's a fun live event to go to. Seeing that stuff, it's it's just as entertainment. But who is? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me what the draw is here. But who is sitting down on their couch on a Tuesday evening and watching the Pro Bowl? I'm going to take the 106 here.
I don't know. So there goes the 106 off the board.
Yeah, I think that, look, I just... Maybe I'm a serial optimist, right?
Could be.
Somebody's got to make themselves known here. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to put their hand up.
His name is Elijah Surratt. You just drafted him. Welcome to the squad.
Yeah. Elijah Surratt. Where's he going? First round?
First round, 5th overall to the Tennessee Titans.
How would I feel about that?
Give Cam Ward somebody.
Cam Ward needs somebody, man. I don't know if Elijah Surratt's the guy in the first, but Cam Ward needs somebody.
Okay, this is great. I was really tempted to take AJ Brown when I took Ken Walker. Obviously, no one loves to build around AJ Brown, but we're in the 7th round here. I think you guys are making my life way too easy, giving me AJ Brown this late. Not having any receiver really through the first 7 rounds. I know he's a veteran, but clearly this is a team that can win right now. And you're telling me I've got Purdy, Baker, Bijan, Walker. Obviously, we've got the ultimate difference maker there at Bowers at tight end and a tight end premium. I'm guessing the 104 is going to be Tate or Tyson or Lemon. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think
This
you
is
guys made
funny.
my life a little too easy here.
We ended up with the exact same, like 7 positions through 7 rounds here.
Just did it a different way. And that's the beauty of Dynasty football. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's on their own path, but we end up in the same spot.
Guys, I appreciate y'all being here and hanging out with us. Obviously, doing a startup mock draft. First off, if you didn't hear, we are officially this time next week going to be doing our first real startup draft of the year. If you want to be a part of that, our live Dynasty leagues, all you have to do is be an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. It's the same link that's in the pinned comment where it says get your team review tonight. You can become an annual Mother Flocker member with the code LAND there if you want to be a part of those. And once you become an annual member, you can go to our Discord, go to the announcements tab, and under the announcements tab, there is a link. There's a form for you to sign up. We'll do that raffle on Thursday night, and 11 of you guys will be a part of the first startup draft, real startup draft, first league of the year. And just so you know, I care about this so much. It's been something that you guys have asked so often about, wanting to have more leagues, good leagues to be a part of. I know it's something that's not always available in Dynasty. You want to play Dynasty, you want to be a part of a league and invest in something that matters. It's so hard to do that with like free leagues or random leagues that you'll find online. I care about this so much, and I wanted to find a solution for you guys that I actually brought 2 people on. I'm paying them monthly to actually run these leagues for you. So they're going to be well-run leagues that really matter. Again, make sure you fill out that form. If you're already a member, you can obviously sign up. And if you become a member today, obviously you can sign up, get the team playbook, everything, all that jazz. So Tyler Shuck in the 7th. What do we think about that? I actually don't mind that at all.
I think that, yeah, quarterback is so tough because, like, if you look at, like, what we think of the players that are going around him here.
Yeah.
Maybe at least in the early 7th, like where Cam Ward goes, like Bryce Young at the 803. But Shuck if he's the guy, like this pick is fine, even if he's not a difference maker for fantasy, because if he's a surefire starter for them for, the future, then he's in that 5th round range, right? With the rest of the quarterbacks.
I agree.
Darnold going that high, I didn't realize. In terms of fantasy football, this guy was terrible in 2025. Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
That's what's funny about it.
He killed you so many times.
Where he just puts 14 points per game.
Less than 10 points.
It was basically like JSN is going to go off, and then one of the running backs is going to get a touchdown. And the defense is so good that that's really all that matters. Yeah. Wasn't ideal, was it? I need to build my receiver room. And wouldn't you know it, Devontae Adams is available. Oh, you guys are making it too easy. You're making it too easy on the boy here. I mean, I'm winning the chance. If this is a real league, which, by the way, next week we will see the real leagues. If this is a real league, I mean, it's over.
F it. Let's make it a real league.
Let's make it a real league today. Honestly, I was talking to our commissioners, and I just thought to myself after I brought them on, there will be weeks where it will be really hard for me not to join a league. I'll just be like, oh,
the startup itch is the startup itch is real. It is very real.
Like, oh, I want to get into a league right now. But I'm gonna do my best to avoid that. I went Devontae Adams, then Michael Wilson comes off the board. We get the 108 and the 109. You wanted Michael Wilson?
I did have Michael Wilson highest on my board. I needed a wide receiver. I'm just taking the rookie pick. Gosh, I don't know. It doesn't feel good. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah.
But the wide receivers in this range, like what? Am I taking Daniel Jones as my QB3 here? We have no idea what that looks like. And then it's what? Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf. These sort of veteran guys that we don't necessarily know what 2026 has in store.
Yeah, I like Daniel Jones, but I like him because he falls far.
Exactly.
I don't love him just inherently.
And this is the range for the rookie picks, I guess.
Yeah. Feels like
8, 9, 10
it's
in
kind
a
of just
row.
a lottery ticket at this point. Do you compete with Devontae Adams? If I wasn't planning on competing, I probably would have taken. Honestly, in hindsight, the 108 is probably going to end up being more valuable than Devontae Adams when all is said and done. It's probably a.
I really hope so. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
got it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, geez.
It
Louise.
has to be like it would have to be like Mayday disaster worst case scenario in the draft for that to not be the case, I think. But Devontae, I mean, I don't know, if you get another year of 14 touchdowns, right? Like
All I gotta do is win the league.
all you gotta do is win the league. And it's
Somebody's
all
got to
worth
believe in it. I got to believe in it. Ricky
Take
Pearsall at
Matthew
the 812, and we get another rookie pick. Michael Pittman at the 902, which the rumors around him are really confusing this offseason. That they might move on from him to bring back Alec Pierce.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't see that. To bring back Alec Pierce. I can't imagine anything dumber than that.
I just don't know how they really manage to pull that off. Like Michael Pittman's a good receiver, but I don't imagine anyone's actively like, oh, he's the guy we need to bring in. You know, already on a contract like that. I don't know. He's a fine receiver, but he's not really like an alpha number one, is he?
No, I don't think he ever has been either. But also the situation, like it's never been great. This is probably the like this year at the beginning. I remember with Daniel Jones, he was cooking.
Yeah, big time. He was. It's a damn shame he got injured, but he's definitely going to re-sign for them. That's for sure. Scribbles does not like your DK Metcalf pick there in the 9th round. You know.
Well, look, I'm looking at DK Metcalf in the same range as like DJ Moore's here. I would love Scribbles to suggest who I could have taken instead, because
I'll tell you.
This is like there's nothing pretty in the 9th round.
I'll tell you who you could have taken.
DeAndre Swift.
Well, DeAndre Swift's a fine option, but I was more thinking Trey Benson.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. No attachment from the coaching staff.
Yeah. Matthew Golden.
3rd round draft
first
capital.
Round wide receiver. Second year. 1st round wide receiver.
Who?
Matthew Golden.
Golden?
Put him on the board. Have you seen his ass?
Have you seen the list of 1st round rookie wide receivers to not score a touchdown?
Have you seen Michael Golden's ass? All right, because
admittedly, I have not seen his ass. So maybe that'll change
everything
things
for you, though.
Wait, can I change my pick then after I see his ass?
Yeah, if you see his ass and you don't change your mind, I'd be surprised.
Okay.
For everybody who doesn't know, ass is average separation score. That's over at Fantasy Points data. So we're not actually talking about his ass.
In other words, but if maybe stat.
Yes, exactly. It's basically, I think they're trying to kind of pull off of the reception perception a little bit there. All right, Tyreek Hill in the 9th. I don't even know if he's going to play again.
Does this guy ever play football again?
Yeah, I don't know. Jones off the board in the 9th. Monangai. There's not a lot of conversations to be had here. I appreciate y'all being here with us and hanging out. Just so you know, I am doing a giveaway today, giving away a live team playbook. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream. And then the code word for today was Hawks Baby. No spaces. So again, it's 2 steps, very easy. Like the stream, type Hawks Baby into the chat. That's as simple as it gets. You'll automatically be entered into today's giveaway. And I appreciate y'all being here with us as well. Going to be jumping into some playbooks later on. Let's see. Is there any chat conversation here that's good? Let's go to Sean. He says, I was offered the 209 and Demario Douglas for Olave. He said Douglas was going to be big and the 209 was good. And the offer was great. Well, you can send him this time code and you can tell him that he's a dumbass. All right. Dumbass offer. And you deserve all the hate that you're going to get.
Is he a used car salesman?
Yeah. I don't know what anybody is supposed to say to that. Gavin says, should the Titans send a first to Philly for AJ? Reverse the clock.
Ban him.
I have heard rumors
Gavin.
that you guys are interested in bringing AJ back,
Oh my gosh, what do we do?
which would be incredible.
That would be. There's no way. Look, our owner is she doesn't like to be embarrassed, and that would be humiliating.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we'll take him now that he's 29. But we didn't want him.
What
and
pick
our
would you be
former
willing to
coach
send though? What would be like the line that you would draw?
for AJ Brown? What pick would I send for AJ Brown?
Yeah, you have to take on the contract, everything, and obviously the embarrassment of like, yeah, we're bringing him back in our
I mean,
franchise.
I don't care about that. I just that would be my argument for why it doesn't happen. I would. Oh God. A third? I'd send a third.
Third seems reasonable. Yeah, I think a third seems.
We do need wide receiver
reasonable.
bad. We do need wide receiver
I see
bad.
you guys as a team that pays big for Alec Pierce. I think you guys could be that team. You have so much cap. You got so much free space. I could also see you being like a Wandale team. That's
just not what we need. Like, okay, yeah. So our wide receiver room in 2026 is going to be Alec Pierce, Wandale Robinson, Alec, and Chimere Dike. I can't. There's nothing that would excite me more.
But that's why I find it so hard to be in on like an Alec as well, is because you have so much cap and you clearly have a need. Clearly, no one's like established themselves. I find it so hard to like bet on a guy like an Alec there because I just think you will do something stupid where you give money to you overpay a player.
Long term, I think best case scenario for Alec is he's a bad 2 or he's a really good 3, is what I would say.
Right.
And
I can see that.
Yeah. Wandale's interesting. I don't know how valuable he is to an NFL team, honestly.
Yeah, the slot receiver. I mean, obviously his best fit's probably going back to New York, but we'll kind of see how that actually pans out. So Charbonnet goes before the 202, which is interesting because I just recorded a video today, and I'm really curious to see what people's thoughts are. The video I recorded today is basically talking about second-round rookie picks, and for each section, early, mid, and late, I give you 2 buys and 2 sells, and that video will come out at the towards the end of this week. But Charbonnet is a name that is in that video, and it's funny because people hate this class so much. I think there are certain players that you can sell now that typically you can't. And anyway, you guys will watch that video here soon. Ayuk coming off the board at the 1103. Do you think he's out of San Francisco?
I love my ragtag group of wide receivers here. He's definitely out of it. I think was it John Lynch? Is it John Lynch or is it James Lynch? No, it's John Lynch.
John Lynch. Yeah.
He already said that Ayuk has played his last snap as a 49er.
He ain't coming back. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know. I just think that this is like, he's so talented. He was so good. It can't just be over, you know? It could be over, actually.
I agree.
It could very well be over, but
I think my ideal offseason for Washington is Ayuk comes to Washington for free.
That's the thing, the ASU connection, right?
And then Rachaad White comes to Washington for free. And then like as a fan, like a Rachaad White JCM combo excites me. As for fantasy, fantasy it sucks, but
you know what's so funny? I recorded yesterday, or no, sorry. I am going to be recording tomorrow. I prepped it today. A stashes video.
Yeah.
And Rachaad White is in it. And I 100%. Literally comped him going forward to Washington Commanders Austin Eckler.
Yeah. I like it.
As in, he's in the committee, but he's getting all the receiving work.
Poor man's James White.
Yeah. Dude, people forget Rachaad White was the RB6.
I know.
And he wasn't efficient at any point. I don't even think he had 1,000 yards the season that he was the RB6.
No. But he's good in a very specific role. And I'd like to see Washington give JCM like the first early second down, early first and second down work, but then have someone like Eckler like they planned. I don't want Washington to draft like Jeremiah Love or kind of go hard on one of these free agents, but we'll see what we end up doing.
Honestly, this is probably unpopular. I don't think people would expect me to say this. I would be perfectly fine with Jeremiah Love at 4 to the Titans.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be fine with it. I think that they probably end up going edge.
That just feels like the Raiders all over again.
It does. I know it does, but the Titans, I think we need to understand what the expectations for this team are. Ruben Bain is not going to put this team in the playoffs either.
Not with that
attitude. If you think that Jeremiah Love is the best player in the draft, then I don't completely agree with I think the whole thing, the Raiders shouldn't have taken Genti, is a little hindsighty.
Yeah.
Obviously the offensive line sucked, but at the same time, if the Raiders in 3 years are in the playoffs and Ashton Genti is a huge part of that, people are going to be like, oh yeah, draft running backs high.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's better than all the other ones.
You want to know the worst supporting cast or supporting stat to draft a running back in the first round? When you go and you look at all the Super Bowl champions of the past 15 years, and you look at the percentage of cap spent on a running back,
it's low.
It's almost like 3% or less. Sometimes, typically almost 1%.
This is how many years?
I think 15.
Okay. Yeah, you got a lot of, you got Saquon's probably the highest one by a mile, right?
Yeah. He would be the outlier. Because you've got all the Chiefs years with Pacheco, Darrell Williams, Damian Williams, sorry. Before that, how many Patriot running backs were, just absolute nobodies? And that list is vast.
Did our draft bug in the 12th round here?
Draft may have just bugged out here, unless I'm bugging myself. Let's see.
No, I'm seeing the same thing you are.
Draft was almost over anyway.
Dang, I really wanted to take Mac Jones.
Were you gonna grab Mac? I was actually gonna draft JJ McCarthy next. I'm not even gonna lie. I was legit about to draft JJ McCarthy.
I had Mac Jones sitting at the top of my queue.
Or George Kittle. Kittle was.
I am going to take note of this, and I am going to figure out why this happened.
Yeah, maybe you can ask our devs about this. Give them the draft code and everything. Guys, I appreciate y'all so much for being here. It's fun because typically when I'm here by myself, if something happens, I just have to stop and just tell the devs. But Sammy works for the site, so this is actually his job. Guys, I appreciate y'all being here with us. If you didn't hear earlier, I am going to give away a live team playbook on today's stream. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream and then type Hawks Baby. One word, no spaces. All right, that is the code for today. We are going to get into some playbooks. We've got, I think 3 currently in queue, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 1, 2, 3. We've got some trades that we'll get to as well. Sammy's going to hang around for those playbooks, which is awesome. You guys can get into today's queue. Friendly reminder, we are still doing 40 in a week Feb. If you don't know, that is an initiative I started here in February, essentially to give something back beyond just playing Dynasty football. So 10% of every membership I'm donating to the A21 organization, which they are focused on stopping human trafficking at its roots. They're an incredible organization. I've known them for over a decade. And essentially, if we reach 40 subscribers, annual Mother Flocker members with the code LAND in a week, I will do a hair reveal for the first time in 2 years. Last week, we got to 19. So we didn't hit it last week. This week, we're on 4. All right, we're on 4 members. So if you want to be a part of that, obviously you can do so by becoming an annual Mother Flocker member with the code LAND. Not only do you get to be a part of the A21 movement, which is incredible, 40 in a week Feb, but obviously you get the live playbook, which we'll do tonight, a bunch of these playbooks. You get the war room, you get the hotline, you get the rookie report, you get $10 fast draft credit. By the way, if you're out there and you've never played on fast draft before, the rabbit is starting to fill up quickly. All right. And I am if you're wanting to kind of get a feel of where the 2026 drafts are going to be, how they're going to feel, I'm starting to get into a bunch of these rabbits, and let me tell you, it feels good drafting again. So last week, I think I drafted this team, took CMC at the 106, Jefferson at the 205, Josh Allen. They've got the Rabbit, which is a 15-round, one quarterback. I believe is a start 8 option. So if you've never played on Fast Draft before, download the app, use the promo code LANDA, match deposit up to $50, and then you'll get my rookie report for free. But more importantly, the reason I bring that up is because you can go to our Discord, fill out this form under the Fast Draft credit tab, and get $10 free if you're a promo code LAND annual Motherflocker member anyway. So there's $10 a free entry basically waiting for you whenever you'd like. Okay, did the draft actually update?
It came back.
It came back to life.
It came back to life, and immediately Mac Jones went. So
wow. And I would have taken JJ McCarthy, but it wouldn't let me. Someone said, Rose says, when is a real draft? What day next week? This day next week. This time next week, we will be like in the butt crack, right in the middle of a startup draft. So again, if you want to get in there, go to the announcements tab.
No better place to be.
Fill out this form, and you'll be entered. We'll raffle off those spots on Friday for the first league. Okay, those spots will be raffled off on Friday. And it looks like we're close to finishing this draft. Nope, we got another error.
Oh, another one. What is going on with this 12th round? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
How long do we wait for this 12th round to finish?
Evie said that she bailed. Crispy says, so you're doing a hair reveal if you can make a bunch of money off subs, but it's for a good cause. Yeah, this is so funny. I've had quite a few comments about this. And I talked to my wife about it as well. I was like, before I even launched this initiative, the 40 in a week Feb initiative, I said, babe, do you think there's any way that people could look at this negatively? You think like people could possibly look at this, me giving 10% to an organization that fights human trafficking, and somehow make it about myself? She's like, look, ultimately there's going to be people out there who find a way to do it. What's funny is I thought to myself, hey, this community has been a big blessing to me. I don't want to just have it be me making money off of fantasy football, which is what it currently is about, by the way. Do you know what I mean? That's like currently I make money talking about fantasy football. That's just the truth. I wanted to find a way to do more than just make money about fantasy, talking about fantasy football. And ultimately, I will make less money this month than I made last year because I'm donating 10% of it to a cause that I believe in. But somehow people find a way to make it about me generating income. The alternate option is I give 0% like I have in the past to a cause. I just don't understand. Like somehow people find a way. I'm like, okay, so the alternative was me not ever saying anything and not giving something to a cause, trying to give back, trying to do good. I don't know, man. Like the internet's a crazy place. Like you can always find a way. I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, look, Crispy wants his 5 minutes of fame here. And if Crispy wants to let the chat know how much of his salary he donates.
Yeah.
If he's happy,
there was a comment.
Everybody else about it.
There was a comment on the video the other day that said, "I would be more interested if you donated 100%." I said, "Do you understand? If I donated 100%, I wouldn't pay my video editor, I wouldn't feed my family, and then the channel would cease to exist. I'm doing what I logistically can because I wanted to do something beyond myself." It's like, okay, whatever. What can you do? At the end of the day, people are going to find a way to be upset about something. Wow, this guy wants to give back to fight human trafficking? What an asshole. What an asshole.
Terrible,
Why
honestly.
isn't he's getting 10%? That's all? Like, man, you know what? Ultimately, you do what you can. What's the funniest part about it is, even if we never reach the goal that I have, which was 40 in a week, I'm still donating 10% no matter what.
Yeah, the hair thing is just like to make it fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like. Crispy says, so you're
it's not
you're
a
so
donation.
Great for giving away a small fraction of your donations.
This guy needs to go take a brisk walk.
What percentage, Crispy, would have been good for you, man? What percentage of the money that I'm going to put in my pocket do you think would have been reasonable for you to think it was going to a good cause, that it was a good idea? I'd be curious. What would be the percentage that you would be like, you know what, actually, this guy is doing something that matters? What percentage are you giving to a cause?
Yeah, maybe Crispy doesn't understand. Crispy has an interesting worldview, and thinks that this isn't a job. We start at 90-10. How about 50-50, which is 5 times more?
Okay, so just I just want to clarify so I understand I'm on the same page here. Last month, for 4 years, I took home 100% of the profits that I make outside of paying my video editors and everything. You're now suggesting that I give 50% of all the income that I have.
I think that is what he's suggesting.
Then it would be a worthwhile cause.
Zach. Well, Zach, it's 5 times more. So,
okay. Unfortunately, the reality of that is then I don't feed my own family. I don't feed my video editor's family, my graphic designer's family. But no, okay. If I gave 50%, then it would be worthwhile. Okay, understood. Yeah. Sound logic. The internet's undefeated.
It really is.
Oh, so you admit the majority of the time you gave away nothing. I literally just said that.
Yes, it's an income. It's not like you know,
literally just said that.
It's Crispy's asking like the playbooks are like you work at like a grocery store and you like you're packing groceries, right? And these playbooks are the $5 that the grannies give you as a little tip. That's what Crispy thinks the playbooks are. Bro.
Anyway. Yeah.
Crispy is Matthew Cam Ward's burner. I like that one.
Yeah. Honestly, the internet, like the lengths that it will go to make 0 cents, it always shocks me every year.
Unfortunately, it's a loud minority, and I think that you know that you have built an incredibly positive and great community here with everybody in the chat right now, and we can focus on that.
Exactly, 100%. Ultimately. I've said this from the very beginning. I'll say it again. I feel like a broken record, and clearly this person has no idea who I am, and that's okay. As Steven just says, dinner for Zach's family. Thank you. Here's what I will say. I've said this many times. I'll say it again. The fact that I make an income talking about fantasy football is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, I find it insane. I talk to my wife about this all the time. Like, I can't believe I generate income for us talking about fantasy football. It's insane. The only way that that's even possible is because of the support from people who support me on the Flock site, who watch our content, who engage. It is genuinely mind-boggling. At the same time, I did this for 3 years and made no money off of it. And put in 60 hours a week, put in 80 hours a week, did anything I could to make this kind of like stupid dream a reality. And now I'm still working my ass off. And I'm making an income doing something that I love, but that doesn't mean that it's not still silly. It's still silly that we live in a world where I can generate income talking about fantasy football. And that's why I've wanted for so long to say, what could I do? Even if it's something small, what could I do to just go beyond this game? And ultimately, A21 is an organization that I'm very passionate about, that has, you know, for a long time, set up foundations around the world. They're in 9 different countries. They're in Australia, Cambodia, Bulgaria, Greece, Latin America, South Africa, Spain, Thailand, the UK. They're in the United States. And a lot of people don't realize that they assume like because we're in a modern world that human trafficking isn't a thing anymore. No, it's a thing. And it is impacting more people than any other time in human history. There's more people enslaved today than any time ever before ever. Okay. It generates 236 billion US dollars per year. One of the most disgusting industries, the most disgusting industry that's ever existed, is generating some of the most money that's we've ever seen. Right now, there's almost 50 million people enslaved. And I'll use this hater as a gateway to do something good again. 1 in 4 victims are children. All right. It's happening in every country. 6.4 out of every 1,000 people in the world are enslaved. And it's just an unfortunate cycle that exists around the world that unfortunately is not stopping. And they have real inbuilt solutions to help fight it. You know, are we ever going to eradicate it? I don't know, hopefully. And I'll do what I can. And this is what I can do, right? Are we ever going to eradicate it? I don't know. There's always going to be evil in the world, right? But I will do whatever I can with the platform that I have to try and make a difference. And they have certain programs that they've set up for awareness. They go even beyond that to people who have been in trafficking. They have recovery. They have a 24/7 hotline. They have child advocacy centers. Excuse me. They train professionals and send them around the world. They have lawyers on hand here to actually deal with those people in those situations to try and find them better solutions. They have restore programs. They have home care centers. They put people in homes. They put a roof over people's heads. They feed people. Talk through them with counseling and put them back on track, kind of have them live what is somewhat of a normal life. And they are in, like I said, 19 locations. They also have people on the ground, boots on the ground, like rescue missions as well. So ultimately, again, it is so silly that I generate income talking about football, but I do. And I would rather do what I can, which is what I've already established, the 40 in a week February. I'm giving 10% to this organization. No matter what, whether we reach our goal or we don't, I'm going to lose money this year based off what I made on February last year. That's just a reality. And I don't want to live a life ultimately where I look back and I'm 50 years old and I said, man, I had so much fun talking about football. Made a lot of friends along the way, had a lot of cool conversations, and that's all going to be a reality. But I don't want that to be where it stops. You know, I want it to go beyond that. I want it to do something that makes an impact beyond what I can. And ultimately, I can't do what these people are doing. So therefore, I'm going to fund an organization that I believe in. And yeah, so I appreciate the haters out there for letting me talk about it. Let me talk about A21. This is something I've been passionate for a long time. I've known this organization for over a decade. They do incredible work. And I think we so often get caught up in our own world. And I think about myself, like, how am I going to afford a house? How am I going to, in this market in Australia, it's one of the highest markets. I think about all these things, but ultimately we have it so good. We're so blessed. And I just want to do whatever small bit I can. It's never going to fix the problem like what I do on my own. But collectively, if we decide to do something, we're going to leave the world as a better place. And I want to leave the world one day and say, yeah, he had some great fantasy takes. He was fun to hang out with. But ultimately, he did what he could to make the world a better place. That's what I'd like to do. Right? So, yeah, I mean, my mouse died.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think you're absolutely right. There's people love their jobs, and I think that you in particular have, like you said, it was a dream and now it's a reality. And I think that it's awesome that you're, branching this out and opening the community up to something bigger than what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, if you guys want to be a part of it, to be very clear, whether I hit 40 in any week or not, 10% of every annual Mother Flocker membership is donated to A21, regardless of that goal. The goal is just a fun way for you guys to, kind of get excited about it. But I'm glad I was able to kind of segue into that and have a quick little conversation about why that cause is important to me, because it is. All right, let's jump into this giveaway, shall we? We have currently, I believe, 47 entries. So let's go ahead and copy those entries. All you had to do to enter was simply like the stream and then type Hawks Baby, I think it was, no spaces. 47 entries, and one of you guys is going to win a free team playbook. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. And the winner is... Who do we have here? Who do we have? Bradley Turner 7910. Bradley Turner 7910. All you have to do to claim your team playbook, my friend, is simply like the stream, or sorry, is simply DM me on Discord. There's my username there. I need a screenshot of your YouTube account for verification, and I need your Flock Fantasy username. Let's jump into these team reviews. We got a couple trade questions we'll do here beforehand. A trade question from Lark Spur 5858. Would you send away CeeDee Lamb for Breece Hall and Nico Collins? I brought CeeDee Lamb as a sell high in a video last week. Wasn't received all that well. But I would love to get a package like this. This is kind of exactly what I'd love to do with CeeDee Lamb personally.
Yeah, I think that I admittedly didn't hear your argument, but I think that the CeeDee Lamb conversation is that his value won't ever be as high as it is right now. Right?
Yeah.
And, just with the way that wide receivers age and how the market views them when they do age, I think that the only way I'm not doing this is if this is like a tiny starting lineup and this gives me like a benching headache in terms of Breece Hall being like my RB4 or something in a start 8.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Otherwise, I'm happy with this.
I'm sorry to go back into that previous conversation, but I just realized, I think this is Joe from the dev team. He says, if you got too much money, you can always feed a hungry dev.
I know firsthand the devs are hungry. So
yeah.
anyway. The AI is taking over and they're losing their jobs. And
honestly, I don't know if Joe moved on from Flock Fantasy, would he be upset? Because then I message him literally every day. He's probably annoyed about it anyway. Probably like, well, at least I don't have to talk to Zach every day. Every day I find a bug. I feel like I'm the only one finding the bugs on the site. I feel so bad. I'm like, oh, this is happening for some reason. Like, maybe it's because I'm in Australia. I don't know.
It's yeah, it could be. I mean, Joe. You probably talk to Joe more than either of you talk to your own wives.
It feels like I talk to him, especially in season, like 2 or 3 times a day. Okay, I would love to grab the Nico Collins and Breece Hall side of this.
Yeah.
When I made that video earlier, released earlier last week, this is kind of the exact package I was hoping for, where you can get a receiver that has a similar point per game outcome as a potential, not guaranteed. If George Pickens is going to sign there long term, what does that mean for CeeDee Lamb? And I kind of view this as exactly how I'd like to tier off him, especially in a start 10. That's a decent lineup. I'm all aboard the Breece Hall, Nico Collins side of that. Another trade here from C. Gornt, I think. Says, thoughts on Brian Thomas Jr. rebounding. I also have Hunter. It's an 8-team start 9, so it's a really small league. We have to keep that in mind. Would you send Ken Walker and George Pickens for Hampton and Brian Thomas?
Oh my gosh.
This seems relatively even. I mean, the only way this goes sideways is if Brian Thomas just completely fizzles out, but
I feel like George Pickens has a downside to be baked in as well, I love Amari Hampton so much, man.
Same.
I think I'm taking Hampton BTJ here.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably take the asset that I value the highest, which would be Hampton in such a small league. But I really don't see a scenario which... I would say this. If this is like a 12-team league, I'd probably go Walker and Pickens, to be honest. Because you really need depth. You need good players. You need good pieces. In an 8-team league, I mean, let's just look at his team, for example. I guarantee it's like... Let's see what he has.
This is an 8-team league?
8-team league. He's got Lamar Jackson. He's got Henderson, Bijan. He's got Adunze, Nico, Jameson, Fannin. Well, it's not actually that good of a team. No disrespect intended. Look, if you can counter and instead of getting Brian Thomas, get like the 103, I'm not opposed to that. That feels pretty good.
You have Travis Hunter. I don't know if I want both of those guys.
Yeah. Definitely would prefer.
Look at this guy's team. London, Neighbors, JSN, Gibbs. I mean, 8-team league, you're going to have a lot of these stacked rosters.
Yeah, I think I like the 103 instead of Brian, if you can get that done. I think he's got the 103 is a safer asset. All right, let's jump into some team playbooks. The first one is from Lark Spur 5858. Thanks for becoming an annual Mother Flocker member, my friend. Appreciate you big time. And it's a Superflex start 10. It is a half PPR, so not a full PPR. And Superflex start 10 would be our middle ground here. So you're probably starting 5 receivers. It depends. You might have a start 3 receiver league, or it might just be a 3 flex league. But you're currently on the site. You are ranked 7th, and it is a 12-team league, half PPR. Okay, it says, started to make some moves to contend. Not sure what to do to bolster starting lineup given the lack of liquidity of my late 26 first. Looking for down/up tiers. Okay, let's have a look. So, yeah, you've got a lot of late firsts in 2026, which there's not been a year since I covered Dynasty football where it's been harder to sell a late first, you know, at this point of the year, at least. I mean, people do not want them. And, like, I understand, but also we might be overdoing it as well. Okay, so Bo Nix, CJ Stroud, love Bo, but don't love your quarterback 2 there. Hopefully between Stroud and Ward, you can kind of find someone that fills that gap for you. Outside of Ashton Genty, there's no one at running back. You've got Lamb and Pickens, which you probably still in that situation want Pickens to go to Dallas again. And then Fannin. I don't really like this team, to be honest. I don't imagine that you can turn those picks into like a real contender with what you currently have.
That's the problem. In any other year, you would feel good about the trajectory here, about what you're able to do with those 4 picks, what you're able to move them for.
Yeah.
But here, it's just like, it feels like, genuinely, like, this is my sentiment right now, and I hate this is my sentiment. It's like, you're going to have to just keep those picks and pray that the draft goes incredibly.
Yeah. I kind of lean towards like a 1-year punt here on this one. I don't know. I mean, because again, thinking about a start 10, you will be starting Bo Nix, and then you already don't feel comfortable about your quarterback 2. Bo Nix really should be your quarterback 2 if you're trying to compete. Then you've got Genty and who? I don't know. I don't know that those late firsts are going to turn into your RB2. You got Lamb and Pickens, which is fine, and Fannin, which is fine, but then you have to start 3 more names. Those 3 more names are, I don't know what. Addison, is he going to, you know, off the field have an off season where he doesn't do something stupid? Josh Downs, will he ever, you know, get solid target share? Will Parker Washington be real? I don't know. I just really struggle to believe that you're a genuine contender when looking at some of the other leagues, other teams in this league.
No.
So for me, I'm probably looking at being as bad as I can this year. You don't have your second in 27, but you have your first. I just think like your ceiling with this team is like maybe you make the playoffs if everything goes right. Maybe. And I don't 100% know for sure that that's the case. Overall team grade, I would give you like a C. I don't think it's a very good team. So I would want to be as bad as possible to have the best pick next year to make the biggest impact on the roster. That's really would be my goal.
Yeah, I'm with you.
As far as untouchables on this one, CeeDee Lamb is technically going to be an untouchable, but I think you could probably tear down from him. Genty is the one that I would say I would hold through the punt.
Yeah.
What holds do we like on this team through this year? I like
Devin Neal.
Yeah, Devin Neal's a good one. Cam Ward, you might as well.
Yeah. Cam Ward for sure. It is a super flex, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I also like Rashard Smith as a hold and Parker Washington.
Troy Franklin.
In case he keeps that role. I actually have a video coming about Troy Franklin as a sell here soon, but
really,
mm-hmm.
Even with how low he's valued.
Yeah, because I don't think people realized how quickly he lost his job last year. I think because Pat Bryant's injuries.
Yeah.
I think if Pat Bryant wasn't injured, it would be even more drastic how quickly he lost his job. Look at the splits before and after their bye week. It's insane, the difference for Troy Franklin. he drops from like 23% target share to like 12. And that's even with
He
Pat
can't
Bryant
block,
injured. Not a good blocker. I don't know. He's young.
Payton doesn't.
If you were to drop anyone, which I don't think you really should on this team, maybe Isaiah Davis and Najee Harris. But I'm assuming there's not much interesting on your waiver wire. Let me double check. Your waiver wire, yeah. Joe Milton is interesting, but there's not really anybody on the waiver wire here. That's not really anyone. Yeah. Well, we can certainly jump into the war room because the war room is going to be helpful for a team like this. Again, it's unfortunate that in this class in particular, you have all these picks because people aren't super interested, but I still think you can make an impact. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the war room here, and let's come up with a game plan for your rookie draft. Who do we feel is like that late first round right now? Like if he was to stick and pick, obviously this team, you'd like to get a running back. I would say, as I always do, don't draft for a need, especially if you're punting for 1 year. You can figure out running back next year.
Yeah. I'm looking at, like, you're thinking Jonah Coleman, Kenyon Sadiq in this range.
Maybe Price, Cooper.
Price, yeah, if he gets good draft capital. Like the Cooper, Surratt, the Indiana guys, if they can sneak into round 1 or the top of round 2. Yeah. Ty Simpson would be in this range potentially.
Yep. 306, no idea BPA. We'll have a look at the 207. I can give you like a very, very rough estimate of what that might look like in this class. But the 207, it's funny because I used to use Nick Singleton here, but now I don't know if he'll even go in the second round after the foot injury. It's hard to say, but you know, the Claibornes, the Daniels, the Branch, the Moss, you could put 1,000 names there. Nobody really knows right now. I will say if you can trade any of those late firsts for any future firsts, it makes a lot of sense because you've got a lot of stock in this class right now. The 110, 111, 112, 201. So if, and really the way that would happen is in the draft, if there's a name that someone's obsessed with and they're like, oh, I want to trade up and get this guy fell, you can get there 27, 28 first, shoot. If you go all the way to 29, I don't know. I'd be willing to do it. Because
that's what I'm thinking. Like while it's on the clock,
exactly.
Somebody wants to, it's an easy asset to part with if you have a guy here that you really like.
Yep. And I would do the same thing for both of these late seconds as well. If you can get any future picks, because right now you're just so heavily invested in this class that I would be very willing to hopefully kind of expand my capital in a different class. So I'm not so, heavily betting on 2026. But, hypothetically, I guess there's a world here where, your team ends up looking like, let's just say Bo Nix, Stroud is your starting lineup. Then you have Genty and Jonah Coleman. Then you're starting Lamb, Pickens, Fannin. And then you end up flexing names like Addison and Surratt and Cooper, maybe Jadarian Price. Maybe you draft a Kenyon Sadiq. So you can definitely make a difference with those draft picks. I just, if you were a contender, we'd probably look at it a different way and try and trade them for players to compete right now, but you're really not. You're not close to contending at this point. Now, I do think we should look at a CeeDee Lamb tear down.
Absolutely.
And
there's no need to have him on this roster.
That's really the main goal I'd have with a team like this going into a 1-year punt. I'm not sure there would be like another name that I would desperately be looking to move. I am open to selling Troy Franklin, but I don't think, he's basically a lottery ticket, which you kind of need. You can't really sell Jordan Addison. You can't sell Stroud or Ward. They're not worth much. Fannin you can build around.
Would you entertain like selling Pickens here? Because I feel like potentially on a team like this, if I'm looking at not scoring points in 2026, I want to be moving guys where I don't think their value has much room to increase.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it.
Love George Pickens. I think that Yeah, like on this team where you don't need to be scoring a ton of points, obviously he could get a huge contract and then that 3-year window opens up a little bit. I don't think you have to do it,
Yeah.
but I think
Maybe if there's a contender that has like a top pick that you can get one of those top 5 picks plus something for. So for example, it's got to be top 5, but you're not going to get the 102, I don't think. Let's see. The 103, yeah, the 103 is not contending. Look, I don't think the 103 is contending, but hypothetically, you get the 103 and Brian Thomas, and then you send back George Pickens and something small, you know, a Tyrone Tracy, a Josh Downs.
or even maybe like I would even send like the 201 in that deal maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. That's probably way more attractive. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind doing higher than the 201. Like if it had to be like the 111 or something.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Yeah, I'm open to that. You're still going to get a prospect that we love at receiver there. What's almost guaranteed to be a top 10 NFL wide receiver. So that could work. He has the 104 as well. And yeah, I mean, shoot for the 103 so you can make your preference there.
I feel, yeah, and at this point right now, like I feel the same about those 2 picks. I don't think
exactly.
You know, it's a 4-man tier right now, and so if he would rather part with the 104, then that's probably fine.
It's funny because CeeDee Lamb, my ideal tier down name was George Pickens.
That is funny. It's an interesting conversation because, you know, I mean, Pickens outproduced him this year.
Yeah, and I guess the way I think about it is if there's a scenario where Pickens signs a long-term deal, then who are you betting on scoring more points? Obviously CeeDee Lamb, but you probably don't have the same conviction, you know, that you would before.
Well, here's the thing. I think that right now, even if Pickens signs a huge deal tomorrow, I'd take CD over him right now.
Yeah.
But is there any way I'm doing that in 365 days?
Yeah. I mean, CD already was outscored by Pickens when they were both healthy.
Exactly.
Not even
and
like
CD will be,
yeah,
he'll be 28 this time next year.
Now, if you're going to tear down from him, I love Drake London as a name. I'm just going to write out some names that I would love. Drake London, I would love. I don't mind Chris Olave, Tedero McMillan. Luther Burden, if you get a big enough. Emeka Egbuka, if you get a big enough return.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey, if you get a big enough return. You know, the further we go down, the more I'm expecting. Roma Dunze, that's kind of where I stop. Brian Thomas, I don't know.
It depends on what else
I
you're
need
getting,
a significant addition, yeah. So
obviously that guy has the two early picks.
Right. Let's have a look at London real fast here. So, for example, no brainer. You get London in the 102, right? That's an absolute no brainer for me. In fact, I would even be willing to do something where I like give them the 111 or something back, like we talked about earlier.
I would absolutely do that. Yeah, I don't know if they bite on the. I think a lot of people probably see London similarly to CD.
Yeah, it depends if they paid attention this year or not.
Exactly,
because they probably shouldn't have them that far off. So that could work. Let's have a look at the Olave owner. Olave, who I feel almost guaranteed is about to get a contract extension. Olave
good year for him to not have a concussion, of course.
I know, right? That's all he needed.
That's fun. Olave and Burden, that's a lot of fun.
Olave and Burden would be perfect. All he needed was a quarterback that could throw the ball and a healthy brain. That's as simple as it was.
There you go.
Okay, McMillan. Let's see who has McMillan here. And again, like these deals won't be perfect, but it can be like give you a little bit of a baseline here. McMillan in the 103. Again, another no-brainer. And let me just say, like any of those deals, I'd be willing to do a 27 first as well. So like hypothetically, if you had to do this deal and you gave up, let's say the 111 or something, I'd be willing to structure this where I get a 27 first, but I'm sending, you know, the 201 or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, push it forward. You never know what's going to happen. Collecting 27 firsts is never going to be a bad strategy.
So even these ones at the top, if these are 27 firsts instead of the 107, I'm not opposed to that. So McMillan's a fine option. Egbuka, who, man, I brought him in today's video. And a lot of people are team sell Emeka Egbuka. I don't understand. This one, you could do, this is easy, Egbuka and a Dunze.
Yeah.
I don't mind that idea. I don't think you're going to get his 101. I mean, obviously, the easy answer is to do Egbuka and a 27 first. You could do Roma Dunze, but I would probably want 2 future firsts. Yeah. And then to make it simple, I think the Dunze price is the same for McConkey and Brian Thomas as well. Right? You're taking on a lot of risk, I think, with those names.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's your tear down for CD. Again, you have to find somebody who values CD the way, values him as like a first round startup pick. You got to find that. And now that I think about it, I don't really think we need to explore Troy Franklin. You might as well keep him as a lottery ticket.
Yeah, and even then, you're getting a late second for him if you.
Yeah.
On the high
Which
end,
I would be open to, but you already have so many 26 picks. I don't really feel a need to invest any more into this class with 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in the first round, basically. But yeah, that is it for you, Larkspur. I appreciate you big time, my friend. Just so you know, you should expect to get your team playbook here, say within the next 3 to 4 business days. You'll have that playbook in your inbox, so make sure you check that on the Flock site. If you guys want a team playbook, very simple way to get one is by using the promo code LAND, becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher that you can use through the Flock store. Now, our offerings have changed since last year, and you'll notice that here we've got the live team playbook, the priority pass, and the pro pass. The pro pass gives you double the playbooks. The priority pass lets you skip the queue. And obviously, by default, all playbooks are live. There was someone who DM'd me and said, well, what if I still want an offline playbook like I had last year? Still possible. Just when you submit it, just put it in the text like, hey, I want this to be offline. I don't want my league to see it. A lot of people do that. They're like, I don't want my league knowing what happens, which I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Well, I think that might be huge with your with the live leagues that you're going to start doing here.
Yeah, that's true. People they don't want people watching the stream and knowing their strategies. Exactly. All right. Shout out to Drew, who just submitted a review as well. We'll get to that. But we've got KH the Bat 24 up next. Appreciate you, my friend. And I believe, let me check on the back, and I think this is a pro pass. This is a pro pass. So you are going to double your playbooks here. I'm going to give you a free team review. You can submit that whenever. You obviously can't upgrade that voucher I just gave you to a pro pass, but you did double your playbooks. So shout out to you, my friend. And thanks for getting the pro pass. So this is a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 10, which is a big lineup for a 1 quarterback league, right? I mean, potentially starting up to 6 receivers, if I'm looking at that correctly.
That's you either probably got 3 wide receivers, 3 or flex, right?
Yeah. It's either 2-4 or 3-3, I would imagine. So that's a pretty big starting lineup. Definitely matters in this one. He says, hey, Zach, love your content. I somehow finished second last year. I was very surprised. Move some pieces. Very happy to draft Love and then Tyson or Lemon at 4. My buddies are all Ohio State fans. I'm thinking Omar Cooper at 10. Thank you so much, and God bless. Well, first off, God bless. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing some love to the show. Secondly, why didn't we even talk about Elijah Surratt? All right. I mean, I know Omar Cooper is the hottest thing the world has ever seen now, but no mention of Elijah Surratt. You're not even gonna have a conversation about it.
It's disrespectful.
I mean, no. All jokes aside,
honestly, Zach, I have a worst case scenario for you here. Okay. I have I have my rookie mock 1.0 coming
Oh,
out on
no.
Wednesday.
What happened?
Elijah Surratt in the 3rd round to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh my God. That would basically be like levels of like that would remind me of when Jalen McMillan was my guy. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
When he went to the Bucks that late. Like,
but the thing is, this is probably worse because Chris Godwin and Mike Evans had combined, 60 years old?
Yeah.
At that point?
Yeah.
Marv and Michael Wilson are...
They're
those
not
guys
that
aren't
old.
Neither's Trey McBride. And they don't have a quarterback. The Bucks did.
Yeah, that would be hell. Let's just pretend like that
Gross.
world can't exist. Okay.
Impossible.
So I don't see any 27 picks. And I think we've got our guy in the chat here. This is KH. KH,
Yes.
do you have no picks in
4
27?
flex.
Or is that just you haven't updated the league? Or just let me know where those picks stand, because that's going to help me grade your team and give you a direction. If you have no picks in 27, I'm going to take it in a very different place than if you do.
He traded them.
You traded all your picks in 27. Okay. Look, it's okay. We can maybe figure this out.
We can work with it. It just changes what we have to do. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay, so it's a 12-team start 10. So we've got Purdy, Lawrence. We've got Judkins, Etienne, Corum, McMillan, Jameson, Wilson, Bowers. Is there a premium? There's no premium, and it's half PPR. So right now you're starting Purdy, Judkins, Etienne, Tet, Jamo, Bowers, and then you have to start 4 more names. That's where we might find things difficult here. Your 4 names that you're going to have to start, probably Jeremiah Love, whoever you get at the 104, Michael Wilson.
And then one more.
And I'll be honest.
Chimere DK, wide receiver 1.
I'll be honest. I do think you're a little short given the needs of this league to not have any picks in 27. I know you can't do anything about that now, but I just think maybe we might have gotten too aggressive here. Draft capital grade, I'm going to give you, it's weird because you have the 101 and that's such a impactful pick, and this, you might hate this, but I almost wonder if you need to sell the 101. I know that sounds crazy, but
possible.
We'll talk about what that could look like. I'll give you a B plus because the 101 is so powerful, but you don't have picks in 27. I'm going to give you a B flat. Overall team grade, honesty is important. I don't think this is like the best team I've ever seen. It's not terrible. I kind of lean like a B flat, B minus. I think I'm going to go B minus.
I like that.
And then I don't know how to give you any other pathway other than a windows open without your picks next year. It's not that you just gave away like your 2nd round pick. No, I mean, you got no picks at all whatsoever. And unfortunately, you're heavily invested in a class that nobody really likes outside of that 101 and that 104. So there's going to be some maneuvering that has to happen. But that doesn't mean that, we can't still go out there and try and contend for a championship. Because that's kind of, I think you've kind of put yourself in a box a little bit where you kind of need to contend.
Absolutely.
So are there any untouchables on this team? I guess Brock Bowers would be untouchable.
Probably. I mean, you're competing. That you could view him similar to the 101 as an asset that you could split.
Right. So let's say Bowers in the 101, but we might have to get creative to really be a contender here. Holds, I would say Corum is a great hold for this team with how weak your running back room is. You might as well hold on to Michael Wilson at this point because you need to contend. You need to hope that the scenario that happens is he's just that dude. He's better than Marvin.
Yeah.
I like Pat Bryant as a hold. And I don't know, man. DK is the closest thing. Easy drops. If you want to drop someone, you could probably drop Fields and Parkinson.
In a 1 quarterback, yeah, you can let Fields go.
And the waiver wire, is there anyone interesting? Not really. I mean, Cedric Tillman, Audric Estime, but I'm not really bothered by those guys, Cedric Tillman is this guy that people will fight for relentlessly online, no matter what. He's got a big big group of supporters. Let's jump into the War Room, because I do think the War Room is going to be important for a team like this with so much draft capital. At the 101, obviously, if you stick, I mean, you're going Jeremiah Love. There's not another option there for you, especially in a one quarterback league. Even in Superflex, I'd say the same. At the 104, you should be so grateful that you have the 104 and not the 105, because in a one quarterback league, the 105
that's right. I didn't even think about that.
way less valuable. So you just want one of those big 3 wide receivers, and you kind of have to hope that this whole narrative around Jordan Tyson doesn't hold up when the NFL draft happens, in the sense of like, he's going to fall. Teams don't view him in the same category as the other guys. He's going to be a late first. You need to hope that the NFL isn't viewing Jordan Tyson in a different tier to those other guys, because then there is a scenario potentially where the 104 actually loses value. But again, it's Tyson, Tate, or Lemon there. And you really should probably bet on whoever you think is going to produce more in year one. Like, if we get a Luther Bird and JSN situation, you may need to be more focused on drafting the guy who's like McMillan, who's clearly set up to lead the team in target share in year one, or whoever that ends up being.
Well, he's not going to have a choice, unfortunately.
That's true. So you're going to take what you get, and
you're going to take
like
what
it.
you get is what you're going to do. Yeah.
At the end of your drafts there at the 110, some names that I think would be available: Sadiq, Coleman, kind of that group that we talked about earlier. You mentioned Omar Cooper, and honestly, KH, if Omar Cooper, goes in the first round, late first or early second, I don't think that's crazy with this class. Beyond that, I don't know what's going to be the best player available. Now, I'll be honest with you, we're not really trading for the 110. This is funny because a month ago I would have told you to trade this for Ken Walker. Today,
not happening anymore,
you can't,
unfortunately.
But I will say trade for vet, and that can be either running back or receiver. We'll look at the chalkboard for that in a second.
Yeah.
What I really want to explore is this idea of, you're not trading the 104, by the way. Actually, you might. Yeah.
It's a valuable pick, and we're trying to contend.
Yeah, trade for productive wide receiver.
Sure.
So we can look at that again on the chalkboard. What I really want to look at here in the War Room is, if we were to trade the 101, what would be some packages that would make sense? Let's try and come up with some ideas here. So first off, if you make this deal, I think you need it to be need a running back to be included. And it almost needs to be what we did for the other guy when he was tearing down from CeeDee Lamb, but in your scenario, you're like, because depth is so important here, you get 2 really quality starters. So let's see. I want to look at some of these teams.
Can I get... Okay, wait, this guy right here.
Like a Hampton Rice would be perfect, but...
Yeah, I was thinking like Hampton Higgins.
Okay.
A similar idea. I don't know if... Yeah, I mean, you can start with Hampton Rice for sure. I don't know if they go for it, because this depends... Yeah, I think people are all over the place on Hampton a little bit.
Yeah.
I view him pretty similarly to Jeremiah Love.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even mind, by the way, if you could throw in like that 210 or the 211 to kind of sweeten a deal like that. If that means you get Rice instead, but I would do this type of deal. I'm just going to say plus wide receiver, because I honestly would do this type of deal for any of those, like Garrett, Rice, Ladd, or T. I don't know if I would do it for Marv, but...
Yeah, I don't love doing it for Marv. You have Michael Wilson as well,
So I would be fine with any of those. And again, you can throw in one of those late seconds if you need. I don't think you can net like a London Bucky, but I would certainly do it if it was possible.
What about like Oh yeah, Bucky's not a bad one. Obviously, I think there's more questions there. What about like a James Cook?
Okay, who has James? James Cook and Olave would be awesome. You'd have to give something back. I don't want to go to the Devonta Smith tier, but if you get James Cook plus Chris Olave, and then he has, would you give the 110? No, I wouldn't. Not for Jeremiah Love. You gotta view Jeremiah Love the way that the majority of the community does, which is like generational talent. So
Yeah, he's like he's basically as close to the Bijan Gibbs tier as possible.
that's what people think. So what would you trade for Bijan Robinson coming out as a rookie? And
Exactly.
you have to be really set on the price. You can't undersell it. So
And I do think that he has a good opportunity. Obviously, we've seen Bijan have the slow rookie year. We've seen Ashton Genty have the slow rookie year.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love could come out and be super productive for you right away, which is what you need. So there is no point in, obviously, we're giving you ideas for what to do with the pick, but holding the pick is completely fine as well because you need to contend, and Jeremiah Love will be a good redraft asset in 2026.
I'm not doing like Jonathan Taylor Waddle, like that's not enough. HN Nico's a no-brainer, but I don't think that would happen.
I would do HN BTJ, a version of that. I would be fine with that because I see HN Love.
Do you do HN BTJ in a 27 first and then send your 110?
I would absolutely do that, yeah.
That could make sense. HN plus BTJ plus a 27 first, and we're sending our 110 back. So that kind of takes a little bit of the stress off of this year as well. Not to say that you don't compete, but it gives you some stock in next year still.
At least you have a pick, even if it's not yours.
And that's kind of better because you can still go out there and try and contend. And if this guy ends up being good, you can use his first to, again, improve the roster more. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind. I was gonna say like Luther Burden 102, but I'm not really sold as like you need to win right now on that trade. I guess like I kind of hate this, but CMC, AJ, and a 27 first. Again, I kind of hate it, but because you've backed yourself into a corner, you're actively making that team worse this year for their pick. Yeah. And you're letting yourself really actually compete now. I hate it because your timeline is so small.
Yeah. That one's scary because you might feel just absolutely abysmal about it.
That could go sideways
a year's time.
This year.
Yeah.
So maybe instead you ask for Walker AJ Brown. How do we feel about that? Walker, AJ Brown.
Except first. I think that's the package that the 101 commands for sure.
And you are actively making that pick more valuable that you're receiving.
Yeah, and I don't think that's crazy to get done whatsoever.
No, I don't think so either. I think that's very possible. So, like, hypothetically, you do a trade like that. Obviously, you don't have Jeremiah Love anymore. But then your starting lineup is Brock Purdy, Judkins, Walker, Tetero McMillan, A.J. Brown, Brock Bowers. And then you're flexing Etienne, Jamison Williams, whatever you get at the 104, and Michael Wilson. That sounds a lot better. And then, by the way, you have that 27 first that you can play around with. So maybe you use that in a trade. Or you keep
can trade the 110 for a vet.
Yeah, you've got the 110 that you can trade away. So I think that those are some options there that could make a lot of sense. I think the War Room potentially really helpful for a team like this. I haven't actually looked at the chat while I was making these up. See, did he have any?
He didn't say anything else. No.
What's up, Christian? He says, if I buy a team playbook, what's the turnaround and when can I expect to see it happen live? If you get it in tonight, I can probably get to it. But worst case scenario is I'll be live not tomorrow, but the next night. So worst case scenario would be Wednesday night. Best case scenario tonight, my friend. Obviously, the earlier you guys get them in, the more you're on the top of the queue. But also, this is why we have something like the Priority Pass. This is why I kind of made that for 2026 as an option. If you want to jump the queue, the Priority Pass is tier 2, and it just lets you kind of get to the top. Pro Passes automatically get you to the top. They kind of absorb tier 2 and add a new feature. Okay. I think that's a lot for the War Room, though. We should go to the chalkboard. That's a pretty in-depth review there. But in the chalkboard, the question we'd be asking is, do we want to bet on Michael Wilson or do we trade him for a veteran that like a Devontae Adams that we know we can compete with? You know what I mean? That's the question. Like, do you want to remove the question of is he a nothing burger somehow? And then I guess the other thing we could consider is if we wanted to keep the 101, then do we tear down off of Bowers? I don't know where you stand. I think you got to do one or the other. I think you got to choose
101
one
or
the
Bowers,
other.
you mean?
Yeah, to tear down from.
That's where I would be at here. Just because you're in the mindset of you need to compete and your flexes in this really deep lineup are struggling.
And we're assuming health,
honestly,
which isn't going to happen. Like, we're assuming when we're putting this roster together that everyone's going to remain healthy.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be the case.
It's not. And I'm honestly, I'd rather move Bowers than the 101.
Okay.
I think that this is a non-tight end premium.
That's fair.
Which in reality, like until you get to the 0.75 full point premiums, I don't think it's a huge difference. But regardless,
yeah,
I think that I think he's an easy asset to move because there are so many teams that won't have a tight end.
Sure. That's fair.
And yeah, Fernando Mendoza, Clint Kubiak, it's exciting.
I just want to write down a couple names where, like, if you were to move off of Michael Wilson, these are names that I feel you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be able to compete with them this year. You know, I really think this is where the list stops for me. It's like, if you're going to move off of him, get Adams or AJ Brown. Otherwise, you might as well hold and see. But you know that those two guys are going to help you compete right now. You don't know for sure what Michael Wilson's status with that team will be. Okay, let's jump into Bowers. So ideally, we find a team that has, you know, the ability to tier up. I would love.
Do we have anything else at tight end or no?
Hunter Henry.
Okay.
I would love to I don't want to rely on Kittle with such a need to compete right now, but like a Laporta, and I know I've talked about tearing down from him, but the idea of like Laporta, Lamb, or London, and then maybe getting Bucky involved somehow if we can use picks, or Javonte, you know, I feel like Laporta could be an option there. Again, non-tight end premium, and
yeah,
if you went like London plus Bucky Irving, and maybe we give back that late first that we have. What do we think about something like that? Bowers in the 110 for London and Bucky Irving and Laporta. That allows us to have a starting tight end. We get a way better running back than we'd ever get with the 110 on its own. And we get Drake London.
Yeah. I would even go down to, who else does he have at wide receiver?
Pickens.
This is the team with, yeah, like I would even do that for George Pickens, honestly, as well. Like London might be too rich for him if he sees Bowers, London similarly, and then,
yep.
You know, it might, you know, if Pickens might be a little more digestible.
Yep. I think that's fair. Well, that's a great team, I think, that you could potentially negotiate with.
Or Javonte instead of Bucky in the same realm.
Yes, if it gets the job done. Let's say Javonte's interchangeable there then.
Exactly.
Now,
like you could keep London and then get.
Yeah, if it means you get
Javonte
London and Javonte instead of Pickens and Bucky, I would do that for sure.
Yeah.
You know, Kraft is an interesting one. If you could get like a Kraft, I don't think you can get Kraft Hampton. That's what I would want, but I don't think you can do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think so? I don't think you could.
Yeah, I don't know if this guy wants picks is the problem.
Yeah.
I'm
just gonna throw it out there, but
Hampton, you could try it. I don't think you can get that straight up.
I think that's probably an auto decline. Okay, let's keep looking. Loveland, I doubt this guy is gonna be tearing up with that team.
No, he's got nothing. He's just got. Oh my gosh, he's got the whole 27 class.
He's like, I am clearly set on next year. Okay, Harold Fannin is interesting. It is risky because we've seen many year 2 tight ends fall off, and I don't really know where. Like, I like Chase Brown, but you're not getting Jamar Chase, so are you doing it Fannin, Zay, Chase? Fannin, Adunze? I don't think this is a good fit, personally.
Yeah, it's just you're asking for a package that he probably doesn't want to give given the starting lineup. Like this would
Yeah.
just sewer his team just to get Bowers.
Yeah. Ferguson, no way. Sell Ferguson if you have him. Gadsden, I don't trust enough. Brenton Strange, I don't trust enough. Kyle Pitts, no, not enough here.
Well, are we willing to sort of maybe shift the asset from tight end to somewhere else and then just throw in a guy that we can start? You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
like a Pitts, for example.
Yeah, we could
You
do
take a
that.
swing on Pitts, and then but the premier asset you're getting isn't the tight end. It would be this guy doesn't have
102
anybody.
and Burden or something. So yeah, that's what you do. You go Pitts plus Burden plus the 102, and then you'll give Bowers in that 110, for example.
Yeah, and then
Now,
maybe you're trying to move. Maybe you try and flip the 102 in that
exactly.
situation for a win now asset.
You do that. You flip the 102, and you go get Drake London level type of player, hopefully. Okay, the Tyler Warren team is interesting. Tyler Warren, Ken Walker, and a first, and then we send back the 110.
Yeah.
And again, we send back that 110 there to kind of make that work. I like that. Might be it. Either the Warren or the Laporta deals, I think, are the best for him. Which
I really like Krafthampton too, but
that seems unrealistic. Which of these do you think is the most realistic that I'm highlighting here? Like, because I want to put together the picture for him.
I think that the last two we said.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically you end up with the Warren, Walker, and a first deal. So you lose Bowers, but then you've got a starting lineup that has where's your team at here? That has Purdy, Walker, Judkins, McMillan, Jameson, who's it? That tight end? Warren, which is still great. Then you're flexing Etienne. Oh, by the way, you keep Jeremiah Love in this.
Yeah.
And you're starting whoever you get the 104. And then you have that 27 first to play around with.
Yeah.
So those are some options there that I think you could explore. Like I said, I think you need to go either way. I agree with Sammy in the sense of like, ideally you are sending away Bowers if you do this, not Jeremiah Love. But yeah, let me know if you have any final questions there. That was a pretty in-depth deal.
Yeah, I guess the a little bit deeper on that thought process specifically is I would be looking at it as I think I can get by with a mediocre tight end where maybe I find 3 late valued guys from like a redraft perspective to try and compete with, to stream, to rotate. It's harder to do that at running back, obviously.
Right.
And on a roster like this where you need to be competing in 2026, that's a path that I would prefer to take.
Yep, I think that makes a lot of sense. Let us know if you have any final questions there, KH. Appreciate you big time, my dude. And obviously keep in mind that because you got the Pro Pass, you've already got another voucher in your inbox. If there's another team that you want me to have a look at, would be more than happy to do so. It looks like we've got Adam up next here, but I just want to make sure that KH is happy and good to go. Like I always say, y'all, if y'all ever submit a playbook, you ever decide you want a team review from me, you want me to look at the team in a really customized way, I always want to make sure that when I finish it, your response is, that was awesome, thank you. I feel like I got the most value out of it. So anytime you guys decide to get those playbooks, I want you to get the most bang for your buck. And it looks like KH is happy and ready to go. Appreciate you, dude. All right, let's refresh here. There's a couple trades that just popped through. So those are really easy to kind of get through. So let's go to those first before we jump into this next review. First trade is from Gritty City. And by the way, yeah, it is a plug, again, for the annual Mother Flocker membership. But I just want y'all to know, we brought back something called the Trade Hotline. So even, let's say, for example, who was it that became a member today? I can't remember their name, but when I finished reviewing their team, they still have 6 trade question vouchers to come back because they're an annual member. if they're like, hey, I tried this trade, here's another one, they can come back 6 times on the stream for free when they're an annual member. Okay, Gritty City. It's a super flex 12-team start 9. They would be sending away, wow, this is a big deal. They'd be sending away the 103, a first and 27, Kyler and Parker Washington. They're getting back Justin Herbert, Etienne, Stevenson, and Golden. Now, in a trade of this magnitude, let's sift through the shit. Okay, so not to say that any of these players are shit, but Parker Washington and Matthew Golden, they're not going to make a difference in a trade like this for me.
I agree.
With all due respect, neither is Ramondre Stevenson. I do think Kyler Murray matters more, but he's not going to move a needle. Really, the way I view this trade is you're essentially sending the 103 and a first for Herbert and Etienne, which I think is relatively fair. You're probably not going to be able to send Travis Etienne away for a 27 first on his own. But with the package of Herbert, and him being the price of the 103, I think if anyone's in a super flex league and they need a quarterback, they're definitely going to draft Justin Herbert at the 103 over Mendoza if they had that choice, in that hypothetical world. Yeah. So I guess for me, it seems relatively even, but did you have a strong opinion on this?
No, I think that I think that early to mid, if that's truly supposed to be early to mid,
that's a good point.
I would have a tough time.
Yep.
I mean, like, these are your rankings, right? That they're showing. Like, I value like that early to mid. With obviously, we don't need to talk about the players, but that next year's class is very good.
Yeah, it's funny because the 103, this almost never happens where like the class you're in is valued at the top less than what we're projecting the next class to be. So you can see the 103 overall, I have it 45th overall. And in 27, I have that pick at 29th overall. So we're assuming that's Jeremiah. It's not going to be Jeremiah Smith probably, but that's the name you're thinking of. But no, I think that's a fair call. If it's projected to be late, then sure. But if it has a over 70% chance of being a top 3 pick, then no.
And if I'm trying to win right now, then I'm fine moving it. I just want more.
Yeah.
Because you're also giving up what I believe to be a starting quarterback, and all you're getting back is Matthew Golden.
Right. Right, which is not the best return. And there's not really much flexibility here because he doesn't have players that you can swap out with. I mean, I guess a counter would be you're adding the 105 and you don't need Stevenson or Golden back. And then you send like
that makes it a lot more digestible.
Yeah. But then that kind of doesn't make it attractive to him, I imagine. But that will be our answer there. Gritty, appreciate you. What's up, SG? He says, I have 3 27 seconds and no 27 firsts. He will only take my own 27 second. So it looks like someone is willing to send the 111 for a 27 second. The 302 is a nothing burger, but
I have 3 2027s and no 2027 first. He will only take my own. Okay, can we see the roster?
Yeah.
What is SG's roster?
His roster is Penix, Daniels, Stroud, super flex. So not great after Daniels. At running back, he's got Scattaboo. That's really it that he can rely on. Egbuka at receiver. This is not a team that's ready to compete. No. I imagine that's going to be an early second. I don't want to do. I love this.
I don't see a point. I don't see a point in doing it right now, having no idea who's going to be on the board at the 111. This is a move that I would make if the 111's on the clock and people aren't excited about it, but there's a guy there that I want to take a shot on.
Yeah.
Because there is value in the year of information, which we can't ignore.
Yeah, I agree. So not a bad idea, but probably not the right timing yet. I don't think that you can't pull this off in May, by the way.
Depending on how badly the draft goes. I agree with you. Yeah. It's so funny because you would never see this normally.
No.
This is the 2026 offseason.
I know, like every year we'd be like, yeah, take the first rounder. I don't love it. Okay. let's get to Adam Will Made It. Appreciate you, Adam.
He was in the chat earlier, I saw.
Is Adam here with us? Let us know, Adam. Appreciate you, big man. Thanks for supporting the show and showing some love. That is, let's see, 612. I just want to make sure I'm labeling these correctly. Okay, Adam is here. Trash Pandas is the team name. You're currently ranked 2nd.
Heck yeah.
On the Flock site. You are in a 1 quarterback 10 team start 8. So that is a pretty standard meat and potatoes. You probably got 2 flex spots there. What's up, Donnie? We've said it a couple times, but Badaki will be with us on Wednesday night. Come join us then. Appreciate you being here, Donnie. League format, like we said, 1 quarterback start 8 meat and potatoes, 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes. And the site has you currently 2nd on quarterbacks, 3rd on running backs, 1st on receivers, and 3rd on tight ends. Okay. I'm expecting a pretty good team here. He says, just won the league as a 5 seed, had Derrick Henry and traded him for Judkins. All I'm looking for is to get a solid 4th running back option with Dowdle and the 202, but we'll take any advice. Okay, so we don't have any firsts in this class, which honestly is not that big of a deal.
Honestly, Zach, you should start giving the draft capital grade, like make it better if they don't have 2026
picks outside of the top 5.
Like it's a good thing to not have 2026 picks.
If you have the 107 onwards, then you get negative draft capital grade.
Subtraction by addition.
Exactly. I would say your capital grade is probably a C flat. You don't really have much impactful on the in that area.
This is funny. He's in the chat. Diehard Buckeye fan, if you can tell. He's got the entire Ohio State wide receiver room.
Literally. No, like actually from the top to bottom. Okay, so we've got in a 1 quarterback start 8. In 10 team, by the way, we've got Daniels, who we're starting, then Hampton and one of Henderson or Judkins, JSN, Olave, Warren, and then you can only start 3 more names, which would be McMillan, Wilson, and one of the other running backs, or Marvin, or So honestly, you don't being fully transparent. You don't really need to make a single move. The way that this roster is set up, you are pretty much ready to compete right now. I think you could... Go ahead.
In his message, he mentioned the running back 4, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if on an elite contender, I'm super comfortable with Travion Quinshon as my RB2 options, because we don't know how to feel about Travion, and Quinshon's coming off the brutal injury.
Yeah. I think those guys are... Henderson's just hard to sell right now. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I don't even mean selling. I just mean getting somebody who's a little more solid as a...
Almost like adding a veteran or something, hey.
Exactly.
Just give you a little bit more room for error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that could make a lot of sense.
Yeah, if Travion's, not a nothing burger, but if he's slow and Quinshon's coming back from the injury, you don't really have an answer at RB2 right now.
It's a good team, though. It really is. I mean,
it's a really good team.
I'd probably give you... I think we're going to be in the A range here. I'm probably thinking A-. And I put you as a contender. Definitely a team that can go out there and win a championship this year. Obviously, health has to play a factor. We all know that. Look at the Flock.
We got the depth, though.
I mean, I'll never stop. I need to see a counselor because of 2025 Flock League. Now, your untouchables, obviously JSN. I almost feel like in a small league, I put Daniels over Hampton. Not to say that, Hampton's not as valuable, but those difference makers at the onesies are pretty important. Yeah. Holds, I think your team... I don't know that Gadsden's a hold. I think... I don't know, actually. I'd be willing to sell him with what you've got right now in an upgrade.
Yeah, with Andrews and Likely both behind Warren, I don't think you need to keep.
I'd say Kyle Williams is a good one, in Trey Harris. Those aren't going to net you much in return. You can drop Rasheen Ali if you like. You can drop LaQuint Allen if you like.
Justin Fields.
You don't have to. You can drop Justin Fields if you like. On your waiver wires, or even anyone interesting. Oh, yeah. Jonathan Brooks.
Oh, pick him up.
Oh, brother. However much fab you have. If Jonathan Brooks was available, it's a 10 team. I'd spend at least 50% of your fab on Jonathan Brooks. It's made up money that's going to expire. I would do what I could to get him on the team. Outside of that, I mean, Malik Willis is interesting if you're going to drop Justin Fields. But let's see. Let's look at the chat real fast. This is Adam. Stevenson will unfortunately start at the beginning of the year. Adam says, I was offered T-Mac and Gadsden for Neighbors.
Or I offered T-Mac and Gadsden for Neighbors.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Adam says, I am the commission. I meant to grab Brooks before I moved to the next offseason. No fab. Definitely just do whatever you can to get him on your team if you can. Ryan said, I had a trade question before that just went through. The 27 first was meant to be mid to late. Then we would not be wanting to do that deal. Sorry.
I think we did. We talked about it as if it was. I think we talked about it as if it could be mid to late, what we would do.
If it was mid to late, we would do the deal, Ryan, to clarify. I do remember that. All right, let's open up the war room here. You've got the 202 and the 410. And the 410 is, useless. Throw into any package if it makes a difference. The 202, I just made a video about this. The thing is, in your league, a 10-team league, I don't really think the player you're going to get is going to make a difference. Now, technically, that's the 112. Value-wise, when we're thinking of a 12-team league. And I wonder if that could be the pick that gets you that veteran running back. Like I don't know. I don't even like DeAndre Swift, but his name comes to mind. You almost just need a body. What about combining your seconds, the 202 and your 27 second, and trying to land an ETN or a Javonte Williams?
Yeah.
Now, that's more of a chalkboard idea. How
do you feel about Jaylen Warren?
Jaylen Warren was someone I had in mind there as well, yeah. I am a little concerned that Caleb will be more interesting to whoever, to the new coaching staff. But I do think that he's a name that would make sense for sure. Like, he would fit the bill if you're going to make that trade. Just as like a body that's there, that will get opportunities. I think it's too early for Blake Corum, who I like.
Yeah, you're not getting what you want out of him.
Yeah, and you're not going to get a Chase, Javonte, Etienne straight up for it. I don't think Derrick Henry is realistic.
Well, he said that he traded Henry for Judkins, which I don't know.
Which is crazy.
Straight up, that's a great
huge win for him. All right, I'm just going to put veteran running back here. If there's a veteran running back that makes sense, because some crazy deals are obviously happening in your league. Now, at the 202,
maybe trade Benson is an option as well.
It just seems too early because it's basically the 112.
Yeah, that is an early pick.
Because the players that you're going to be looking at here will be one of the following: Sadiq, Coleman, Price, Johnson, Surratt, and Cooper. And honestly, now that I think about it, you're not in a bad spot to grab one of those three running backs that people like. I'm not obsessed with them, but a Coleman, Price, Johnson, if I'm imagining them going in round 3 or 4, probably 4, and then you grab them at the 201 as a body. Maybe you draft the next Scatterboo. I don't think there's a Scatterboo in this class, respectfully, but yeah. War Room's not going to be as impactful for a team like this as a chalkboard. So let's jump into the chalkboard for you. Already mentioned, if you can combine those 2 seconds and get a Javonte or an Etienne, I think that makes a ton of sense for you. I also don't mind the idea of us using Gadsden, which we talked about last week as well in a couple players.
Sell.
If you
it's actually funny. My rookie mock, the Chargers drafted Sadiq in the first round.
I don't know why, but it makes sense. But it's one of the most confusing ideas this offseason that the Chargers are going to get a tight end. But at the same time, I could totally see it happening.
It's a weird one because I think people. Yeah.
Gadsden's not the guy that's going to help you in the run game. That's the problem. Sadiq would instantly improve.
He's this is the thing. It's weird because he is McDaniel's type of tight end.
Yeah.
But like Jonnu Smith didn't run a lot of routes in like 11 personnel, like where he's the only tight end on the field. Neither did Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Like they still want another guy. Because you can't look at Gadsden as a tight end. You have to look at him as just like a big slot receiver.
Yep.
And so there's obviously a chance that they would try and add somebody who can block.
Now, with it being a start 8, you've got money to kind of play around here. I almost want to do like a Gadsden Marvin or a Gadsden Stevenson and the 202. Stevenson
I really
is that
like
body,
the idea.
though.
Yeah, exactly. He is a body, and you have Henderson, so it's kind of your
Rico. Maybe after free agency, Rico could be this. Probably not today. Well, honestly,
But yeah,
Rico might actually be the player you're looking to add at that 202. Like if Rico signs in Kansas City or something, you know what I mean? Like you might actually not need to make a move at all.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm really less interested in this idea of like adding a body because you have bodies than I am doing a big upgrade.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because I'm looking here like I would love to. We can only start 4 wide receivers.
Yeah.
And if we're starting 4 wide receivers, then we're only starting 2 running backs.
So do we use Garrett then?
Garrett Wilson or Tet, like I'm fine.
So let's use Garrett
He said he offered T-Mac and Gadsden for Neighbors. I like any move where it's like T-Mac or Wilson plus Gadsden for one of those elite wide receivers.
Right. So for a Neighbors, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Neighbors,
London.
Puka.
Yeah. If you can get into that crazy elite tier, but like Amon-Ra, CD.
Amon-Ra. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you're on the sell side of CD, but
I am on the sell, but in his scenario with how small his league is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you need to add the 202 if you went for like a Jefferson. No. But ideally one of those 3 names, Neighbors, Puka, Amon-Ra. Just because you got depth to wiggle with. Mm-hmm. Losing Gadsden isn't going to kill this team. Adam is here, by the way. He said Rico and 202 for running back is the goal. Well, we can explore that, but just know, Adam, that it's really, in my opinion, it's not a great time to do a trade like that because free agency hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And I guess there is like a risk reward. Like if the market isn't there for Rico, then you have to deal with that. But I think there's more risk in selling him now than waiting to see what the market in free agency says about him. Because if he is someone's Javonte Williams, like the one year Band-Aid, you know, first off, he might be what you need. Secondly, you could probably get more for him after free agency. So
you got to think that the market would be there after, 1,000 yards in Dallas and then the insane performances this year.
And I feel like he's like proven himself a bit. Like if you're going to add the 202 to like, I don't think that even gets you to Chase Brown. I don't think the Chase Brown owner is going to do something like that. That would be ideal. Buy low on a Saquon
I think that makes a ton of sense once Rico lands somewhere good.
Yeah. Right.
And it looks like there's some opportunity. Then you try and up tier him. With the uncertainty now, I don't think anybody's moving off of a Chase Brown or a Saquon for that. But it's good to have those in there for.
Yeah.
Whenever
even
possible.
like a Josh Jacobs or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's an easier to acquire player right now.
Well, especially with the bad second half that he had with the injuries.
But Adam, let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything that you think we didn't cover well. Congratulations on a great team, man. You absolutely killed it. Really, really well put together team here.
I just realized it goes beyond the wide receiver room. Travion and Quinshon are the Ohio State running backs.
Right.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Who is he missing? He's missing. He needs Egbuka. He needs Stroud.
Cade Stover.
He needs Cade Stover. He's got to draft Tate this year. He's got to somehow get a top.
Yeah, you need to
4 pick.
Trade Marvin for Carnell Tate.
Jeremy Ruckert, Kenyon in the chat.
Bro, Jeremy Ruckert coming out. I don't know why, but I loved him. Not as I mean, he was like a 4th round pick, but like I was like, this guy's fun. And then he went to New York, and I was like, It's weird how cursed certain teams are. Like, I thought about this the other day. What would Garrett Wilson's career look like today if he wasn't drafted by the Jets? And I really think Garrett Wilson could have been like the way we currently value Amon-Ra. I could totally see that being a real possibility if he didn't go to the Jets.
We valued Garrett Wilson there. Like, he was the wide. I remember when the Aaron Rodgers hype was happening. After, was it Garrett's 2nd year? I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, after his 2nd year. After his rookie year, because it was 2023 that Rodgers tore his Achilles. So yeah, after Garrett Wilson's rookie year, he was like the wide receiver 4 or 5 on Keep Trade Cut,
and nobody blinked.
Like, that's how high he got.
Everyone's like, yeah, I think that makes sense. None of us.
And then Bush drafted him over Justin Jefferson in the Flock League.
It's so funny that is like that video people will watch it for a long time because it was like the start of of everything, and that's like the first thing you see about Bush. It's so funny looking back. I remember September of last year, August of last year, people started watching the 2024 draft vlog again, and they thought it was like this year's vlog, if that makes sense.
Are you serious?
So people were like, why is this guy drafting Garrett Wilson? Anyway, I think I was definitely sold on Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson working. I'm not going to lie. I was sold on it.
It should have worked. It should have. I mean, if he didn't tear his Achilles, who knows what would have happened? What's worse, Garrett Wilson over Jefferson or Bucky Irving over Devon Achane?
Yeah, I got let off a little bit of slack for that one, honestly. And it's so funny because in the vlog, you literally see me say, my rankings say to take Devon Achane. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do it. And that's just fantasy football defined, isn't it? I wanted to have fun. Yeah. I guess I could have called him like...
be there either.
I could have called him Devon Bucky Achane, Devon Batman Achane, but it didn't really flow. Bucky Batman, it flowed. And the only reason I made that pick was simply PR. That's all it was. It was a PR pick. And I recognize that, and I'll be better next year.
You're gonna no pre-planned bits for the 2nd round.
No, I'm actually gonna go into next year and just like completely business. I might wear a suit and everything. Like I'm not doing anything funny.
That'll be good.
Anyway, appreciate you, Jelly or Adam. Thanks for letting me and Sammy have a look at the squad. You will get your team playbook within the next 3 to 4 business days. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. And yeah, appreciate you for letting me look at it. If anybody else wants a team playbook, it's a great time to get into the queue. Looks like we got 2 more for today. On Wednesday, I'll have a free queue, hopefully, for you guys, but you can become a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member, and you'll get a team playbook voucher for free. Okay, let's jump into Drew's review here. This is a Superflex Start 8, which that's kind of small.
Small lineup.
That's about as small as a Superflex gets, actually. Let me double check that on the back end. Sometimes
there's one flex, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex.
This is not Start 8. This is Start 10. Okay. Can you? I'm gonna send you a screenshot on Discord, and if you can submit something to the devs for me, just so I can kind of get his going. But I'm gonna screenshot both of these and send them to you, because I thought we had this sorted out. I think I'm the only one who's doing this, again, telling the devs about this, but it's happened to me like 4 or 5 times. Anyway. Okay, so we know it's a Start 10, which honestly makes a lot more sense. It's a Start 10 Superflex League. Sorry about that, Drew. We'll make sure and get that right. Appreciate you, my man. All right. And there's a full point premium here as well. You're currently ranked in the league where you ranked at. You're currently ranked 8 out of 12. So this will be an interesting one to have a look at. And your team name, Drew, you got really creative here. You went ahead and named your team Drew Peacock, which is the same as your username. Okay. 12 team, start 10. Oh, you literally said it.
That's a man with an identity.
Yeah. You literally said it in the comment. What moves do you think I should make? Okay. So let's have a geese here. No firsts, not only in 26, but no firsts in 27. I don't know what your 28 picks look like. Okay. So we are starting in this league. Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence. We've got Kyron and Scattaboo. We've got Jefferson and Metcalf. We've got McBride. It's a 1.5 tight end premium. Problem is, you now need to start 3 more names. I guess Laporta would be involved here. Bucky would be involved here. And then you need one of Ricky, DJ. This team cannot sustain an injury. If you have an injury at quarterback, at running back or receiver or tight end, you're in a really tough spot. I got to be 100% honest. Drew, you've gotten a lot of reviews from me over the years, and I think it's because you value the transparency. I don't think this team's in a very good position. I think you're in a really tough spot, man. You got a team that clearly has to compete because you don't have your first next year. And I think you're going to need a lot of luck to field a roster. I mean, I'm thinking about all the injuries I had to all my teams this year. If I had a roster that only had 3 major injuries, I felt lucky. You know, it's like, damn, okay, this team kind of got away a little bit. Untouchables on this team would be Trey McBride. I mean, he would have an insane amount of value. I would still put Jefferson in that category. Holds. You almost cut because you really don't have a way to improve this team without tearing down. You almost have to hold a Gainwell and hope he goes somewhere. You know, you can't really sell him high. I would also look at a name like a DJ Moore. You kind of have to hold right now and hope he goes somewhere in free agency to either be a starter for you or someone that you could trade. There are a lot of drops on this team. I mean, Deontay Johnson doesn't deserve to be rostered. Elijah Higgins.
It's been a while, eh?
Yeah. Elijah Higgins, you can ship to the Sun. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. You know, these names you can move. But I'm imagining they're on your roster because there's nothing on the waiver wire. Yeah, when Bam Knight is your... I mean, I probably would roster Bam Knight over some of those names. I'd roster Bam Knight and Efton Chisholm over those names that we just talked about. I honestly would.
Yeah.
Okay. Draft capital grade. Honesty is important here, and I think, I mean, this is a D minus. Overall team grade. I imagine you had a very good 2025 because of Trey McBride. But then again, Jefferson and DK were awful. Your entire receiver room was awful.
Did he have a receiver this year?
Yeah. So maybe you didn't. Overall team grade as of today. I got to factor the fact that you have no picks, really. You got your 28 picks you mentioned. This feels very much like C+ to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That may be harsh. It's C+.
There's third this year.
C+, B-, somewhere in that range. And unfortunately,
there are redeemable qualities here, but it's just going to be tough to.
There's no flexibility.
There's no flexibility. You can't sustain an injury whatsoever.
I think you're a Windows open and you're a C+. Now, I'm not giving you the B simply because of the flexibility issue. Okay. Man, we got to get creative with this. There's not really a war room for a team like this because there's no picks. Now, I think the obvious answer is going to be looking at a Trey McBride tear down.
Unfortunately.
Because I don't see how else we make a big impact on this team. Like, you're not going to sell Kyron because then you don't have your pick next year and you need to compete. And how do you replace him? You can't sell Kyron and then replace Kyron with the same caliber of player. It doesn't make sense. And that's the same for all your running backs. Mm-hmm. and I'd argue probably the same for your receivers. The wiggle room here, and you don't have a quarterback 3, by the way. My goodness. The wiggle room here is a tier down off of Trey. And ideally, you get a tight end that you love still. A receiver you can start. You know. I don't see much flexibility outside of that unless you just try and like sell Laporta, but that's not going to... Like McBride, it's not that I don't believe in McBride long term. Obviously, like I'm not even claiming he's a sell high, but if you're going to sell him, now is the time to get maximum value. Now's the time where, you know, everybody is willing to give you the moon.
If he's already in the middle of a second round of a startup, he's not going to go much higher, especially after the year that he just had.
Exactly. So, let's look at it. Let's look at selling Trey McBride. Tucker Kraft is a great option. And I think if you got a Kraft, the problem is you can't get Chase or Smith, but...
Well, it's not even... We don't even need a tight end, do we?
That's fair.
We don't need one, obviously. Like
the problem is, like, there's not middle ground here. Like, you're not getting Gibbs, JSN, or Chase. Unless it's, like, straight up.
More, and that's what we need.
We don't really want a straight up deal. We want to tear down.
Yeah, you want to tear down to that. Yeah, tear down a little bit, add an elite asset, but also somebody else you can start.
Yeah, like Walker, Zay, Kraft doesn't really intrigue me that much.
Yeah, and this guy's not doing it if he's not giving up Kraft, which
I'll write it down, but I'm honestly not. I don't really love this idea. I just, you know, it is an option. What I say, Walker, Zay Flowers, Tucker Kraft. And please don't talk to me about wide receiver 7, Zay Flowers.
That number lies.
Okay, Kyle Pitts. Well, first off, like the idea of like a Kyle Pitts, Ashton Genty is interesting. Because I don't think in this premium 1.75 or 1.5, I don't think that's a crazy ask. But then again, we're not fixing our issue, which is receiver.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not going to work. Okay, again, I need to stay in the mindset of receiver.
Nico something.
Yeah, I just don't know how we get there.
Something.
It would have to be too much. It would have to be like T-Mac, Nico, Pitts in a combo, and I don't think he would do that.
Would you do Nico BTJ? Or is that not enough?
No, I don't think it's enough in this premium.
Yeah, I mean, McBride's probably going at like the 1-2 turn in this league if it's a startup.
McBride's definitely a first round pick in this league. I think Neighbors would be awesome, but there's no tight end to tear down to. At the same time, it does kind of fix part of the problem, but it doesn't really help our depth. Not a perfect team yet. Let's keep looking. Okay, Warren and Garrett Wilson. That's the first one that makes sense to me. You're still keeping a really good tight end, a really good prospect who could turn into Trey McBride one day potentially. I mean that makes a lot of sense. I think like a Warren, Garrett Wilson. I don't know if you can net more because you're still getting a good tight end. Yes, it's a tight end premium, but you're still getting a good tight end in return. Like maybe you can ask for a... I was going to say... You can't get H-N. But could you get Dak if you sent... Dude, you have no picks to work around. Damn. No, you can't get Dak. Oh, well, look. I don't think Garrett Wilson and Tyler Warren's a bad return. Maybe you can ask for like Devonta Smith and send back DJ Moore or something. If that is like the max return you could get, you know. Not ideal per se.
Okay, he's in the chat. I traded BTJ and Kincaid for McBride in week 11 to try and make a push to win. And the league has a rule where you can't trade back for 1+ year. That's interesting. I've never heard of that before.
Wait, what? So you guys are communists. That's all I heard.
No takesies, backsies in this league.
Uh,
So we can't get BTJ and Kincaid. That's fine. Or can he not trade McBride at all? There's no way, right?
you can trade McBride, right? It's
He just
not
can't
with
trade
the same
McBride for BTJ or to the
player?
same guy.
Because then that ruins everything if we can't. But
Well, because I was also thinking, we can finish with the McBride stuff, but you could also just move Laporta.
you could. How about this though? Would you do the 101 in a Dunze?
Ooh, I would absolutely do that.
And the reason I say that is because of the premium. Everyone in this world who has a brain in this league is taking McBride over the 101.
Yeah.
With that 1.5 premium. That's a massive premium. 1.5 is ridiculous.
Wait. Okay, wait. I think I'm misunderstanding. 1.5 premium?
Yeah.
So it's a half PPR. A full extra point for a tight end, so they get 1.5.
That's how I'm reading it, unless it's a 0.5
Drew, can you confirm
premium.
in the chat? Half PPR,
Well,
tight end. Does that mean that tight ends get a...
Technically,
Oh,
it's
wait.
probably it's a 1 point premium, actually. Sorry, because it's half PPR and tight ends get 1.5.
Okay, still, that's huge.
That's
so
still,
every
yeah.
receiver gets half PPR and McBride gets 1.5.
Yeah, which is massive.
That's still massive. That's 3 times.
What if you did something crazy like Brenton Strange and Puka?
I would do that.
Now, you'd have to get something back for something like that. But honestly, we don't need this doesn't fix the problem again. It's fun, but it doesn't fix the problem. Okay, let's try and fix the problem. Come on. Hawkinson, nope.
Stay on track.
Honestly, like, can we please?
McBride finished QB5.
Oh my God,
as
that's
the
crazy.
QB5.
That's wild. Okay, how about Gadsden, Olave, AJ, something like that? Which doesn't seem unrealistic. I mean, we'll have to like spruce it up a little bit, but like, what I said,
I might ask for more than that
Gadsden,
in this format.
Olave, AJ Brown. That fixes almost every issue he has. Obviously, you lose McBride. Yeah, I don't think I would sell for less than that.
Like McBride in this format,
Or you could bet on Marvin
outscored
if you wanted, you know.
McBride in this format outscored Puka by 3 points per game.
Which actually makes him way more valuable than Puka because of the onesie spot. Not way more, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like.
But he scores more than him, and you can only start one of them.
Yep. Look, the only other option I could think of is you get like an Igbuka Hampton. I just don't think that guy would be wanting to do that. And then you just rock with Laporta. Honestly, I think the Tyler Warren deal is the one that I like the most. I don't really love.
Yeah.
The 101 deal I like as well. Drew says we can start 2 tight ends. Is that just because of flex though, Drew? Like you don't have a start 2 tight end league, right? Because that actually changes everything again if you have a start 2 tight end league.
If it's a start 2 tight end, then you're not moving either of them because you have a. But even then, with this premium, Sam Laporta is probably like a wide receiver too.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to like. It makes sense moving McBride because he's so valuable and you need wide receivers. And it also goes into this that, you know, as McBride is insanely valuable, it also means that a lot of the lower tight ends will be more valuable because they will score points in a normal half PPR when they wouldn't.
You know, the only other thing I'd like to do is get like the cheapest quarterback 3 possible. So when I say like cheapest, I'm like, can I get Matthew Stafford for my late second? Can I get, you know, that list is pretty big. Let me look.
Like can I get Kirk Cousins for a third?
Kirk Cousins for a third is not a bad idea.
He might start somewhere, gives you some insurance. Apparently Joe Flacco wants to play next year.
Get Joe. Let me get him for a 4th then. A second. I mean, Kyler Murray's kind of perfect. You know.
Yep.
He would be the perfect option there for you. Honestly, he is. Also, Daniel Jones, I would do in a heartbeat. I don't think you get Stroud that cheap because of his
probably
caliber. And then the last, like, kind of just throw it out of the wall and see if it sticks, Malik Willis.
Mac Jones for a third, if that's possible.
Mac Jones for a third's not bad. But yeah. Drew, let me know if there's something else you want us to explore here, my friend. But
is Derek Carr on waivers?
Yes. If Derek Carr's out there, he's worth stashing as well, which I said in my video 3 weeks ago and people made fun of me. All right. Now no one cares. No one's watching the video anymore because it was 3 weeks ago. But
so the comments are just making fun of you now.
Like, what the hell, man?
Repost it.
I might have to, honestly. But yeah, appreciate you, Drew. Thanks for constantly showing some love, and always love when people come back to get a playbook because it just tells me we're doing something right. I'm doing something right, to kind of have them come back and see value in it. But just like Drew did, you can get your own playbook, own customized review from myself. We got Sammy on the stream today. I'll be live on Wednesday night as well doing them. All you got to do is use a promo code LAND, become an annual Mother Flocker member. That's the first way. You get a voucher, as well as a bunch of other stuff. The other way is just by going through the a la carte store. There's not a wrong way to do it, but you can check out the link in the pinned comment. Drew says, I can sell Metcalf, Moore, Booty, Gainwell for Higgins in early mid first. Oh, brother.
Yes.
Didn't do that yesterday. I'm begging you. Click out of the stream
Metcalf,
as soon as you
Moore.
can.
2027 early mid. Yes. Right this second. That is.
So you're telling me you got Metcalf?
Is this T Higgins?
Moore,
is this T Higgins or is this Jaden Higgins?
Booty and Gainwell, and that's all you have to send for T Higgins and a 27 first.
Or is it Jaden?
Ooh, Jaden would make more sense.
I would still do it. By the way, it's T right
Higgins.
now. Right
Brother,
now. Run.
I'm
Sprint.
begging you, please go accept that
Sprint.
trade. That will be the best move you make this entire offseason.
That'll be better than the BTJ
and by the way,
Kincaid for McBride trade.
And by the way, after you do that, you can use that 27 first to go buy a receiver. Easy smash. Easy.
Yeah.
Drew, please. Right now.
I want proof that you did it, Drew.
Drew, I want you to go get that done. Okay. We've got NSAB, and we've also got SG. I need to check the tiers of these because I think SG might have gotten the priority pass. Let's see.
Drew can also, while you're doing that, he can also sell Cam Scadaboo and Ricky Pearsall for his own 2027 first. I mean, if you do that, you could do that and completely change your direction.
If you do that, then you sell Higgins right after you trade for him too.
Well, because then you don't have to compete. No. You don't have to go all in like we were trying to
completely
to do.
Change to a 1 year punt maybe.
Yeah.
Scat and Pearsall for your 27 first. I think I imagine you could get more than that in return, honestly. I think a second round value is what's missing there.
Like his team is on the fringe, so that pick but once he has the pick, he can make it whatever he wants, right? But the team isn't so far away that I'm like needing to acquire my first back on that roster.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a scenario where you make the playoffs and you're like a dangerous team.
Exactly.
But if you make that trade, I think you're a second round pick value off, which doesn't mean you have to get a second, but it can be a player equivalent, Blake Corum, for example.
But if you acquire, let's say you do the first trade, you get Higgins in the first. Now I get a first.
I almost feel like the Higgins in the first trade makes me want to compete.
Yeah, exactly. So you could even get your first back. You don't have to do it, obviously. But he said I would get a first and a second back for Cam Scadaboo and Pearsall.
I don't hate that. Because to me, if you can do that, then you have the flexibility in season to say, all right, Now I'm going to make that first and that second super valuable. Well, the first.
But now
is.
he has 2 firsts. He has his own, and he has the one that he got in the T. Higgins deal.
Yep.
That he can move for a running back at any point.
27 firsts are way easy to sell.
He accepted the deal.
Backs.
Let's go. Oh, he's waiting for the commissioner to approve it. Gosh, why are we still doing this in 2026?
Can we get some congratulations to Drew in the chat here? Congratulations, brother. Maybe little snaps in the chat for Drew. That's, I mean, first off, you robbed the guy blind. You guys want to, I mean, I love Jesus, but you want to talk about robbing a guy blind. Sammy
don't do this.
Sammy just robbed someone in a league we're in together.
Okay.
I got to show y'all what happened in this league because this man, just no care for this guy's well-being. The reason I'm not even upset about the trade is because the guy that you traded with is a 3-time repeating champ in this league. And I've lost to him in the finals 2 years in a row. So I love Jesus, but I mean, this is Sammy basically. I mean, this is a rough one. At the same time, if someone sends me that trade, I'm accepting it every single time. But I saw that the other day and I thought, this guy he's ripping people off left and right.
Hey, it's impossible to take advantage of the 3-peat champ. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
that's not something that is possible to do.
I remember Puka's rookie year. I traded the champ Puka for Olave and a first, and I felt like an absolute genius. I was like, oh my, I'm so smart. And then
Zach, you want to hear something worse?
It's been hell since then.
So that Puka's rookie year was 2023, right?
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah. And that was the summer that I joined Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember after week 1, I was in a league and I wasn't sure what to do with Puka. I had him, whatever. And
everybody was calling him a sell high. We had never seen him
exactly.
Before.
Yeah. And I remember I was messaging with you on the fantasy hotline.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking Rashad White and a second.
Oh my gosh. And was that like after week 1 or something when he had the 20 targets and everyone's like...
That was after week 1.
Yeah. Because at the time it was
and Rashad White
historically,
was like
that's a smart
running
move.
back 1. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who have trade regret with Puka.
At that point, Rashad White was... Yeah, that was the season that Rashad White ended up being the running back 6.
Oh my gosh.
So it didn't even feel terrible.
Just felt bad the very next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in the
Hey,
moment.
it happens, man. And sometimes you find a 2027 first on the ground and you got to pick it up.
Sometimes you do. Okay, do we have SG in the chat and in Sab? And do either of you are either of you down to do your review on Wednesday night? Let me know. Either way, we're gonna be here. I'll get through all of them. If you guys both want them tonight, that's also okay. Let me know. And let's have a look at in Sab here. It's a 1 quarterback 12 team start 8, which is meat and potatoes. But let me double check on the back end that is accurate. 1 quarterback 12 team start 8. Yep, we're accurate there, which is great. And no tight end premium. It is half PPR.
We got a good squad here.
And his name is Bing Bong Ballers. He's currently ranked first.
Bing bang.
Bing bong.
Bing bang. Oh my gosh.
The Flock site has him second on quarterbacks, first on running backs, first on receivers, 8th on tight ends. So he says, I definitely got trade happy and made some big deals. Last deal was Bowers, Benson, and 27 first for Bijan and Mondre. Also just moved Jacobs for Brees and Brooks. Feel like I want to upgrade tight end, but not sure what direction to go in. Overall, happy with where my team is, despite no 27 picks.
You don't need him, brother.
Well, I was going to say, I saw that you had no picks, and I was concerned, and then I saw you had the 101, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
Fine. He's fine.
So it's all right.
I hear the guy at the 101 is not bad this year. Wow.
I hear he's worse than Ashton Genty. That's all I need to know.
Oh my gosh. Did you have an opinion on that, by the way?
No, I also don't think it matters.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to say. I don't think it matters because it's not going to change the way that you draft in 2026 at all whatsoever. It won't change anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what's the question? Is the question, would I take the 101 or Ashton Genty? Or is the question, who's a better prospect? Because one of them I don't care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Ashton Genty, I don't know if anybody's aware, he's no longer a prospect.
Yep, that's correct. Okay, bing bong here. We have Josh Allen starting. And in a start 8, we've got Josh Allen, Bijan, then Jeremiah Love or Breece Hall, Chase, Amon-Ra, Gadsden. And then we can only start 2 more names between London, Olave, Breece, Javonte. This team is nasty. This team is absolutely disgusting. And honestly, I haven't given the Thanos tag to someone in a long time. Less than 1% of all teams ever submitted have the Thanos tag. And unfortunately, I don't think I can give it out today because you do not have an elite tight end. You are an elite tight end away from being tagged Thanos. Again, I can't give it to you. That's the reason why. If I ever give out a Thanos, it's the rarest of all rares. And it's because there are absolutely no holes and no weaknesses in any team in any area. However, I am more than happy to give you an A+, or an A. And I'm more than happy to label you a contender. Honestly, that kind of feels like I'm underselling the team because it is so strong. Draft capital grade, I would put just like a B because you've got 1 pick. But untouchables, how much room do I have on a playbook to put these untouchables? Bijan, Jamar Chase, the 101, Josh Allen. How much room do we actually have? Players that you can hold, Jonathan Brooks. I definitely like holding him this offseason. Jack Besh, I'd like to see what he looks like in a new offense. You can easily drop names like Michael Carter if you want to fill space. Anthony Richardson in a 1-quarterback league. Matt Collins, which I think the reason the Patriots lost the Super Bowl is because he came in looking like an absolute fool.
Yeah, what was that about?
I don't know, but he needs to
Well, he
stop.
also made the only 2 good plays of the
That's true. He actually caught a touchdown. On the
Yeah.
waiver wire, there's really not much. Jarquez Hunter and Treylon Burks are interesting, but
Treylon Burks.
I'm not like running to add those names, to be honest. But I like this team a lot. Nick says, everyone in the league calls my team the Avengers right now.
There you
go. So that's awesome. Okay. Well, it's like we can open the war room. I wonder what you're going to do. Yeah, at the war room. Yeah, I mean, you're going to take Jeremiah Love. You know, the only thing I could think of if you weren't to take Jeremiah Love is to trade it for a Brock Bowers or a Trey McBride. And I think you could get a plus on top of that. Like if you just wanted to,
Is there a premium here?
No, I don't think so. But if you were to get like, you would have to get a plus, wouldn't you? Like Jeremiah Love's probably more valuable in a non-tight end premium.
Yeah.
So who has those
so.
players? Let's see like what would make sense, if anything. Like if we can make it a 2 for 2, a 1 for 2. The guy who has McBride has Achane. He has Neighbors. So like hypothetically, you add Breece Hall into the deal. Does that make sense? And then you get
add Breece Hall
Bowers
and
and Achane.
This is McBride, right? I think this one.
Oh, is that McBride? Yeah, my bad. So same idea, but obviously McBride instead of Bowers. That's where I think it could make sense. Where you upgrade as well at a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I mean, you could do the same thing with Neighbors and Olave, but Olave's already really kind of broken out, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like you need that.
No.
That upgrade. What does the Bowers team have?
Brock Bowers' team.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got Bowers.
Nothing. But you could do Bowers plus the 103 and then send back to them, maybe a Ramondre.
Gadsden?
or Gadsden.
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't think he goes for Gadsden, but you could
Gadsden
try.
could work. Yeah. So we'll explore some more ideas. I'll pull up the your chalkboard here. But as far as
he said he does say that that Bowers is probably off the board for a trade, but it's there anyways.
Okay. Well, then it sounds like you're probably going to bring home Jeremiah Love, my friend. And then maybe what we could do is use some of your lower players to improve at tight end. So, for example, if you know you're going to bring home Jeremiah Love, then Javonte Williams, as much as we love him, maybe we could look at moving him for a tight end if there's like a team that has a need. Yeah, because again, I was about to say, well, then if you lose Javonte, Ramondre's your RB3, but no, you have Jeremiah Love. So, yeah. Let's see what a Javonte plus Gadsden could net us.
Does that get you? That should get you Fannin minimum, right?
Minimum. I would expect more, honestly.
Yeah.
And okay, let's see a running back needy team. Let's find one. Let's see.
I'm wondering how we get to Loveland here.
Well, hey, the guy who has Caleb Johnson as RB3 has Loveland and Fannin.
Ooh, he's got both.
So I think Loveland is not a crazy ask, and if you went Fannin, I actually don't think you even need to include Gadsden if you went Fannin. You could probably just do a straight swap there.
Yeah, maybe you have to add like some sort of depth piece to Javonte, or
Something
like
small,
you don't have any late picks, but
that could work, and it honestly kind of works in your favor that he has both of them.
Yeah, more susceptible to being okay with. That's honestly something that's under discussed. Like there's value, and then there's like looking at your roster and being okay with moving off of a piece.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler Warren. I don't think you can get Tyler Warren for. Well, look, if you can maybe there are some people who are like Fannin over Warren, so I'm not going to say like you can't try it, but
could we do like Javonte? Oh no, I'm tripping.
You could try the Gadsden move. Javonte and Gadsden.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah, you might want a tiny something back, but it's marginal.
Yeah.
Like, can I get like a Mike Evans back in that deal? Because this guy might not be like this as a depth piece.
Just to kind of play around with in season. Yeah, I don't think anyone else has a tight end that you're going to want to tier up to. You could just go buy Kittle on the cheap on this team. And the way you could do that is you probably don't even have to send Javonte. It's like I bet like Stevenson isn't far off.
That team probably wants Kittle off his roster at all costs too.
Kittle might be perfect.
Nothing going on.
You don't spend really anything to get him. You keep Gadsden, the younger guy, let him develop if he turns into something, and then you get to start George Kittle week 1 potentially. Kittle might be honestly perfect.
Gadsden's a good combo. I like that a lot.
I agree. Like letting Kittle kind of take the range right now, and then hopefully Gadsden in the future. And
right now, people don't know. They're sleeping on George.
Exactly, which you gave us the insight last week. I'll say if you have to throw like a 28 third in there or something to get it done, I'm also not opposed. Maybe you do a pick swap where you get back there 4th or something. But congratulations. I mean, I want to see if you have any questions for me. This is just a great team. I don't know what to say other than congratulations, and maybe you can improve at tight end.
He's asking if you should keep Allen right now. You should
100%.
definitely just keep him. There's 100%. No reason to down tier.
You may have heard this a lot in the Dynasty streets, but I operate the same way in the sense of I operate in a 2 to 3 year window. I'm not going to panic about Josh Allen, who's 30. He's going to have plenty of top 5 years upcoming. So what's up, Steven? We are doing a little bit of a mini marathon here. Yes. People are showing some love and getting some playbooks, which is awesome to see. But yeah, let me know if you have any final questions there, Insab. Do we have SG3 in the building? Is SG3 in the building? And how does SG3 feel about getting their review on Wednesday night? If not, I can pop it. We can pop it off right now. But I just want to see if he's even here. He might not even be here. He might have submitted it and been like, "I'll just catch it later." No worries, Nick. Appreciate you, man. Let's give SG3 a second to reply. See if he's here.
Red McMuffin wants to know what the scoop is on Kittle.
Tell us.
Basically, well, we're gonna be doing this every Monday. So the Achilles tear was a lot further up the leg than most of them, and so basically what the Twitter doctors are saying is that they did not have to drill into his ankle at all, which they normally do, and it speeds up the recovery. And he is, barring any setbacks, more likely than not, or very likely to be on the field week 1.
Yeah. Which obviously I don't think anyone's really operating that way, you know? So.
No, I listen to a lot of mainstream podcasts and stuff like that. And everybody's talking about him as if oh, you might see him in week 12.
Yeah. Which was honestly, that's kind of what I thought. I did not think.
Yeah, of course that's what we would all think. The Achilles is, brutal, and he tore it in January.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm assuming SG isn't here, but that makes him number 1 for Wednesday's podcast. I want to be respectful of Sammy's time. Obviously, this went way later than I thought it was going to be, but that's great because you guys are wanting some playbooks. You're wanting to get some advice and have some fun. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Total today,
and I loved every second of it.
Same. I really enjoyed it, honestly, and it's good. Think about it, because next week we're going to be doing real leagues as well. So we're not even going to be starting off with the mock draft. It'll be a real league, which will be fun to kind of.
That'll be a ton of fun to.
I don't think I've streamed a real league on the channel, for me, since 2022, a startup. We've done the rookie, obviously the rookie drafts, but the startups I haven't.
Yeah, I took over Bravo as an orphan, so
that's right.
I've actually never witnessed live a startup draft, like a fast one.
Yeah, I think
this should be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would have streamed them. Anyway, if you guys didn't catch that, that is definitely a little update that you should be aware of. This form is already out there. We do have live leagues happening for land annual Mother Flocker members. So if you want to get into a Dynasty startup draft with the community, I've got commissioners who I'm paying to run these leagues because I want them to be awesome for you guys. Then obviously make sure you're a member with the promo code LAND as an annual Mother Flocker member. And then all you got to do is go to the Discord, and under announcements, you'll see the link here. All right, right under announcements, you'll see that form. And in fact, I'll just paste it in the chat as well to make your lives easier. Make sure you sign up. We'll get the raffle on Thursday night. And then 11 of you will be in a real draft this time next week. You'll probably already be done and having the time of your life. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. We'll see you Wednesday. Badaki will be there, so make sure you come hang out with us. And yeah, nothing but love, guys. Thanks for joining us, Sammy. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.